Hitting record.
Yeah, I'm hitting record.
3, 2.
Oh, I see.
What is
It's
it?
like that, is it?
It's like that, is it? Is it?
Sorry, Sean. Is this? What do you think? The real one's back now. The main one. So.
Well, hang on. So who's introducing it then?
Me. Well, sorry.
okay.
Did you at some point think that you were introducing this?
Yeah.
Matt, put this at the start of the show. Right. 3, 2, 1. Hello and welcome to the Computer Game Show. My name's David Turner. I'm here with Sean Bell.
Hello.
And Matt Murray.
Hello.
And James Farley.
Hello.
That's right. I'm back for the special Spoilercast for Season 2, Episode 2 of Life is Strange. And I've got to be quick because it's Charlie's 16th birthday today. And he wants his daddy back. Sean, for Christ's sake. How long has it taken you to get to this?
When did it actually come out? It was about a month ago or something. More than that, wasn't it?
I think it was over a month ago, wasn't it?
It was about 2 or 3 months
January?
ago.
Well, all right. It came out, and you guys were all just like, "Oh, it's all right. It's not that good." Farley can't even remember any of it.
I said it was pretty good.
Okay.
You weren't here.
Yeah, go on. So what? You're just saying, "Oh, I'm going to just jack it in because I don't fancy playing."
No,
it.
I was never going to jack it in. It's just no one seemed arsed apart from you. You were getting on at me about it, but other than that,
I definitely asked you, but yeah, just
the beauty. Matt,
when you asked me, I went and played it like next week.
So the beauty, Matt, right, is that he turned around to me and said, "I haven't got the time." Now I ain't being funny, Sean.
When
I've
did I
already
say that?
played the I've got a but last week you said, "Oh, I haven't really had the time to play it." And I said, that was on Twitter, do you remember? And I said, "We've got video evidence of you playing some random game no one's heard of for an hour and a half every week." You can't use that as an excuse.
Was that
You just
okay?
can't use an
I did not
excuse.
think that was a sincere conversation, but all right.
Speaking of failures, James has announced on the show that he didn't take notes while playing it, which is honestly.
Oh, did I? Come on, James. How was I to... Okay, I just had a look, right? This came out in January. That's like 3 months ago, right? I didn't
2 months
think
ago,
we'd
James.
be... I didn't think that we'd be waiting like this amount of time before we were recording this.
But that's not what you said on the show. You said on the show, "Oh, I don't want to take notes. I just want to sit and enjoy it."
Well, yeah, I do. That's another point.
Okay, fine, James, but you haven't got that fucking choice because we've been provided code for this game to cover it.
I had to pay
specifically.
for it. I had to fucking pay for it.
You didn't have to, James. You didn't have to.
Well, I did. Yeah,
What
you
happened?
didn't
What
tell
did
me.
you
You chose
tell
to.
the story.
We got
happened?
codes, and then you just went and bought it anyway, didn't you?
No, I'd already bought it, and then you went and got codes for free.
Oh, that's right. Well, I told you I was going to get codes.
Do you know what? My whole point against James tonight has been dismantled. That's fair enough. If you wanted to play it for fun, then you have my blessing.
Thank you.
I must admit, though, I haven't taken notes because I had no idea. I had no intention of being on this show tonight. Zero. I had no intention on being on this podcast until Matt was like texting me last week. "Oh, please, David, come on. We've really been struggling."
I definitely realised
I'll see what I could do. I'll see what I can do. There's a good chance that the Life is Strange community will pick up on this, and it can't just be us three. I'm like, okay, mate, all right, I'll see what I could do. And here I am.
So,
Not
am
bad.
I the only one to have taken notes? Oh, Sean, you took some,
Oh,
didn't
no,
you?
I've taken notes as well, yeah.
Yeah, you took them because you knew you were going to be on this, Sean.
What do you mean?
Well, you knew...
What, you didn't?
No, in the time, there was that huge gap. There's been 2 months, like, between it, and then there was all that row about whether we take notes on it, so you knew you had to take notes.
What on earth are you talking about? How does that mean you get away with not taking notes?
Because I didn't think we'd have to wait this long until we recorded. It's ridiculous.
That's bullshit. So
Yeah,
why have I
that's bollocks,
taken
James.
notes when I knew we were going to record this in relatively short order then? Doesn't make any
I've only
sense,
been back
James.
5 minutes. It literally says 5 minutes on the recording in front of me, and everyone's at each other's
And I
throats.
thought maybe I can look back and watch some videos or whatever, but I've been
Okay.
busy, so I've not bothered doing that
Oh, okay,
either.
you've been busy. All right, okay, fine.
Yeah, you
No,
could have
I can't.
replayed it.
It's
We've
all
done
right,
it
for
for 5
James.
minutes.
But I did take some photos of my decisions though, but I don't know what they mean because I can't remember.
Wait.
Did they not jog
I've
your
just had a
memory?
thought.
Some of them
I've
do.
just had a thought.
Okay.
I've just had a thought. James has pretty much forgotten all of this, right? This is essentially an E3 episode, so can we just put some fake plot twists in here somewhere and see how he reacts to them, see if you can pick them out?
It's the bit where Chloe turns up,
right.
Spoilers.
If you've done the bit with Chloe. Right, okay. So what we're going to do in this episode is go through the second episode of Season 2 of Life is Strange, and we're going to discuss the decisions we made and what we thought of it, and it's basically just a plot walkthrough. Seeing as Sean was the last person to play this, like he's played it most recently, I think he should take the lead through this episode, and in any future episodes I'll make sure I'll make notes, because let's face it, you all want me to be the main host in this. It's just the way it's worked out, so I'll make sure that just in case I get on the next one, I'm prepared. But I would like to say this at the start, there's something that really confuses me with these sort of games. Like, it really pissed me off. I loaded the episode, and the first thing you see is a notice saying, what is it? Searching for Life is Strange, what is it? Captain Spirit save file.
Oh, yeah, the Awesome Adventures of Captain Spirit. Yeah.
And I was like, what? Why are you telling me that? Can't you do that in the background?
Yeah.
Because now I'm going into this thinking, oh, right, okay, so Captain Spirit's in this, or something related to that is going to be in this episode. Why has it got to come up with a big notice?
So I had, because I forgot that I played Captain Spirit on PC instead of the PS4. And I was playing this on the PS4. So it just came up saying, like, we couldn't find a save file for Captain Spirit. You should go and play that first. Which I get. It's fair enough. Like, it is definitely a lesser experience if you haven't. But I was just like, but obviously then I was paralysed. So I was like, oh, well, fuck. Like, how much of it carries over into this? Because if it's loads of things, I'd rather go back and play it through again.
Was your playthrough of episode 2 30 minutes long, Sean? Is it just wholesale chopped out massive
you're just
parts
like, who's that kid next door? Don't know.
No, I mean, I that really disappointed me, because I think that shit should just be done in the background. And if you're going to put up a notice that's saying, please play Captain Spirit before this, put that at the start of episode 1. Like, don't put it at the start of the episode where it's going to cross paths. Yeah. Because it's kind of like, it just, it was a surprise anyway, right? I thought we'll get to the sort of reveal when we come to it. And I thought it was very well done, but it would have been done so much better had I not known that it had searched for the fucking save file.
I wonder if
did
it's
it not
a
do
weird...
that on the first episode as well?
No, I don't think so.
No, on the first episode it said, right, listen, we're going to cut through the shit, yeah? Did you save Arcadia Bay? Just want to know? No, I mean, because we can't find a fucking save. We can't look at it. So just let us know if you've saved Arcadia Bay, and then we'll crack on and forget this question was ever asked, okay? That was what it was like. And it was like, oh, right, oh, shit. And then that was just for a quick shot over what James saw as rubble. But yeah, no... So Sean, do you want to take the lead here?
Yeah, okay. So
let's go through the episode.
Because it's sort of disjointed from the end of the last episode, isn't it? Because the first episode ended with Daniel going a bit nuts because he just found out about your dad being killed from the news.
That's right. You're in a hotel room.
And then this one starts. You're in like a sort of snow. Well, you buy a stream in the woods, and it's all snowy, and you are helping Daniel practice his telekinesis powers.
Yes.
And you there's a little bit where you can pick like what you want him to try and lift, because it's putting across that like he can lift like small rocks and stuff, but anything that's too heavy he's still not so great at. But like through the dialogue and stuff, they sort of imply that actually he is getting stronger through practicing with it. And there's a little bit where you're pointing out things for him to try and lift, and then Sean says, "Oh, like let's like try something moving," so he can throw a snowball and see if Daniel can catch it. How did you guys throw the snowball? Because I don't think it gives you much direction on this.
It doesn't, does it?
Yeah.
And I mean, it's funny because it comes up in the stat screen at the end, like the various different things you could hit. So I was sort of just throwing it just in front of him, so it'd land in at his feet.
Yeah.
I threw a couple, and then I threw one over his head, thinking maybe I had to just aim over him and he could stop it. And then I just dashed one in his face. So, like, Yeah, I mean, I was getting, I didn't intend to hit him in the face initially. I just thought I've thrown about 4 of these things, and it seems like I'm not triggering a cutscene.
Yeah.
So
maybe you
I'm
have to
just
do
going to
something
dash
else.
it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
See,
yeah. So that's how I ended up with that.
Because I went for the sort of just over the head, and he caught it with his powers, and that was that. So I guess I guess there's like a weird hitbox, like an invisible hitbox there that you have to.
Yeah,
that sucks.
I think I got something like that. I think because on the decision thing, it says you threw the snowball properly. So I'm assuming maybe that's what that was. I don't know. I didn't throw it at Daniel though.
Yeah. Because the other options are throw it at Daniel or Mushroom, or Daniel and Mushroom.
Mushroom.
Because what did you get?
That is beautiful.
It feels like one of those. Did you throw him in the water?
Yeah.
No, I got going right in the face, square in the face. I mean,
I was
most
also
people
doing
did. Like I was doing little light ones, hoping he'll catch it, and I was like, yeah, come on, now, a little bit higher now, and straight in the face.
Great.
Yeah, Matt lied to Daniel, and he said that he had a snowball when he actually had a rock.
Got to teach him survival.
See, the stats on this one.
Fine.
The stats on this one are interesting because so it's 33% threw it properly, 53% threw it at Daniel, and then 1% threw it at Mushroom. And you're like, oh, that's cool. Everyone's really nice to the dog. Oh no, 13% threw it at Daniel and Mushroom. So
I love that.
So that's nice.
It just wasn't enough dashing it at Daniel's head. Let's go for the dog as well. Or alternatively, you threw it at the dog. Daniel started mouthing off, and you threw it at his face. Fuck it.
So yeah, that was an interesting one because I wasn't expecting that to come up in the results screen, but then there's quite a lot of that that we'll get to later. So then there was a little bit where Daniel says an F-bomb.
And
He does.
Yeah, and you can tell him either never to swear or that swearing's fine. I said it was fine because, frankly, he's been through a lot, and swearing has like legitimate stress relief properties. And
you two kids in the woods.
Exactly. Who gives a shit?
Swear away, mate. You know what I mean? Effing and jeffing.
Did anyone tell him not to swear?
I told him to watch it. What the notes I wrote down. So I guess that was the easier of the two.
I also told him don't swear because it's like
what
you never know.
A pair of fucking cops.
No, on it, proper suits over there, like squares, fucking squares. A couple of them.
You never know when it could come out or something. It's like.
To be fair, I did write out. So I wrote allow Daniel to swear. I bet he swears at a cop or something later and gets us in shit.
Yeah, straight in jail because he's like, you fuck.
Yeah, it's true. I do worry about that. Like. The decisions you make where you're kind of going, yeah, you can swear, but just round me. And like later on in the game, it's like, don't call the cop a fucking prick. That's just he's firing off again. Oh, that's probably insensitive.
No, just like the first one where if Sean stole, Daniel was like, well, that's fine because brother did it. Like, I can imagine, if you said yes. It's gonna be the second half of this episode. Just gonna be ridiculous.
So I'm glad you've raised that. Was anyone like watching for this episode's equivalent of that?
The equivalent of what? Sorry.
So to recap, in episode 1, like you had all these opportunities to steal stuff, and then at the end, I think pretty much unseen by the player, you would then on the results screen, it would tell you if Daniel stole something or not from Brody, the guy that helps you out. So we were like, oh fuck, this is going to be the whole thing. That like actually, it's not necessarily the decisions you make, but how they're observed by Daniel and how it affects his sort of worldview. So yeah, was anyone else conscious of that?
Yes, I was way more aware of that.
Yeah,
and as we'll get to, this episode does exactly that.
Yeah,
it's so not what I expected that I completely missed it.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? I went into this thinking, okay, we sort of come to an agreement on the last episode that the theme of the game is. There are decisions to be made, but you're not going to be making them.
Yeah.
You're going to be influencing someone to make these decisions. And so I was very conscious of that going in.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the old switch was brilliant, but I will get to that eventually.
Yeah. It didn't really affect me at all, and I just did what I felt was right at the time.
So you just fucking lied to everyone, stole everything.
I re-listened to the first Spoilercast today because it had been so long, and I think I was just leaving school at that time actually, and basically I got so angry listening to that because none of you really understood that I would do anything for Daniel, absolutely anything. And you're like, oh no,
yeah, but that's fine, Matt. It's fine saying you do anything, but then the things you're doing are leading to bad consequences. So maybe they're not a great idea.
Consequences of the things at the time, as we'll definitely cover towards the end of this episode.
Matt, the things you're doing is lying to everyone and stealing. Like that
again to survive. It doesn't
to survive a Choco Crisp bar from
it
someone's
would have
car.
filled his stomach and give him some sugar. It doesn't matter if you're like. We've been over this, but fucking
just a
hell,
tasty treat.
Yeah, as you said on the last show, food is better than no food, which is some advice that I'm taking with me.
Also, look, whatever it takes to survive, a Choco Crisp or anything, I don't care.
Jesus.
I mean, come on, no. I mean, you were lying before you were even in peril.
Yeah,
you were lying to your dad about going buying Halloween stuff.
Every 16-year-old probably fibs to his dad when he's asking for some money. How was I to know that I'll be desperate for $40 in about 15 minutes later? No one could have known that.
Come on, shocking.
I'll do it again.
Anyway. Well,
hopefully you've
corrected.
That,
Yeah, hopefully you've corrected your path for this episode. Let's find out.
That's the trouble.
Go on, Sean.
Right, so after the conversation about swearing, it then it is like fully revealed that you found this like abandoned house is a stretch, like a holiday cabin or something, isn't it? That you're living in.
It's an old family cabin that they
and there's
went to the woods every now and then.
There's some sort of slightly touching like remnants of the family that used to live there and stuff, like postcards and what have you in photographs. But it's basically a total shit tip, right? It's all fucked. Like the walls are basically falling apart, but it's shelter and it's like the closest thing to luxury that I think the Diaz boys have had for a while.
This is that toffee, that crispy chocolate crisp.
We've had an upgrade.
So I forget what order this happens in. There is a conversation about the rules, right? The 3 rules of Daniel's powers.
Before that, there's a little conversation as well. Like when you see the house, he basically have a conversation, and basically, I think there's a choice between. He asks where the people are that live there, and the options are basically the dead or they've moved out. Do you guys remember what you guys said?
No, I don't think I had this conversation.
I'm pretty sure I just said that, they've moved out or they're not coming back or whatever.
I said they moved out, but the other option was basically they died. Here's the
Why
house.
would you say that?
I don't know. I don't know.
Some people are bad.
Someone said they're dead. Let's go.
So, and there's a bit that absolutely shat me up where there's like a knock on the door.
Oh, that was brilliant.
That was really good. And it turns out it's just Daniel shitting with you. What was great about that is afterwards I was like, but how did he make the door knock sound? And they're like, he's got superpowers. It took me like several days.
See, I love that bit
because
it really scared me for a second when that happens.
Well, it is. So to explain, because you may have forgotten this in the several seasons that have passed since playing this episode. What happens? There's a knock on the sort of the patio windows, and you go into the front room and you see just a figure, don't you?
Oh, it's horrible.
Yeah, and then you realise that it's Daniel making sort of a robe or a coat float just outside the window, and then it drops to the floor and he starts cracking up. I thought it was so good, so clever, and it got me the way it was intended to.
It was. The only thing is because I found this with the first episode, and then even more so with this one, I was just so fucking anxious all the time.
Oh god, and that's and totally intended.
Yeah, and because especially with that prank from Daniel, that was like, the devs know that I am worried at all times that anything could happen.
Totally, and that they really play on that later on in this episode.
Yeah, definitely.
There's also a choice, I think, quite early on when you get in the house, and basically, Daniel says, "With my power, I can help us." And again, there's 2 options.
Yeah.
What are the options?
Well, I don't know what everyone.
Basically, it's just
I guess it's like yes or no, and I chose no. It's dangerous.
Yeah, basically he says like, if we're in danger or whatever, I can use our powers to save us or whatever. And you can either say like, no, you really can't, or yeah, whatever. So I told him not to.
Yeah,
because this is when you go over the rules, isn't it? Because I forgot to write the rules down, but it's basically don't ever talk about your power, don't use it in public, and then I forget what the third one was, but basically it's all around the secrecy. No smoking. And so it's all basically the whole theme is you are teaching him to like keep this a fucking secret because. Like, there's no way he'll be allowed to live a normal life otherwise. And obviously, we find out later, Sean's obviously worried that, like, Daniel will just be, like, taken away from him and never see him again as well. Which is fair enough, I think, like...
yeah, no, that's a fair assumption.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't remember my answer to that question, but I remember Sean saying to Daniel, you can use it to help us, but only in extreme circumstances.
Right.
That was the discussion.
Yeah.
It was that if we are in absolute danger, then yes, you can use it. Mm-hmm. But that's the only instance you can use your power. Basically,
fair enough.
There was a really sad conversation after that where he said, maybe if I'd used it sooner, maybe Dad would still be here.
Yeah.
And on that, again, I don't know what two options are, but I chose it was out of your control. You couldn't have helped. You couldn't have saved him. But I thought that was really sad, that moment as well.
Yeah, of course it is. Every time they talk about their dad and that, it gets to me a bit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, not... It doesn't feel like it's overplaying that too much. Mm-hmm. There's just like the odd line here and there that reminds you what these boys are going through. And, it would be easy to constantly go, I miss Dad every 5 minutes. But they tend to shy away from that, but also recognise the fact that you need reminding that these guys are going through some horrible stuff.
I actually think the fact they don't mention it as much, it feels like it lingers in the air and it adds more weight to it. It feels like I'm constantly thinking about it, or like constantly thinking about the situation of these two boys and what's happened. And the fact they rarely really mention it in explicit terms, I think it just it's like a real lingering sort of sense of sadness around these two, which is gets me.
Absolutely, yeah.
And that's only going to get worse. So when Daniel played the prank on me, I don't know if you guys got this, but he called me a pussy, which
I think he did. Yes, I think he said that.
And I was like, "Whoa!"
I didn't get that.
So I'm assuming that's because I told him it was okay to swear.
Of course.
Good. That was funny.
Yeah,
like I was totally cool with that.
But yeah, so then you play dice with Daniel. So you do some stuff. You make a fire. You make some fucking ravioli for him. And you play this dice game, which I didn't really figure out until like the last round, and then it was far too late.
This is it, Sean. Is this... I mean, I was playing it and thinking, am I supposed to understand it? Like, is this like a really well-known dice game?
Actually, I'd never come across it before, but it is definitely... There is like a logic to it. There is a game there to be played and won if you...
Oh, God, yeah. I worked it out as I was playing it.
Yeah.
But it was the way that there was no real tutorial. Yeah. It was just like, I've got a full ship. What?
I've always quite a cool little game, actually. I've never heard of it before. I was like, okay.
How many times did you play it? Because I played it about 3 times and didn't enjoy it at all. But
so I played it twice, and then that was enough. But how did you guys handle the cheating thing? Because I think it's like pretty much straight away in the first round, you realise that when Daniel's throwing he's like tweaking the dice using his powers. So you can choose to call him out or just leave him to it. I called him out.
Yeah, I called him out
as well.
Yeah, didn't even notice till really late on, and it didn't give me the option to call it out. I mean, he totally done me.
Also, your watch was missing.
Also, right, this episode was way buggier than the first one, with like characters popping into scenes and
this is
stuff
interesting.
like that. So part of me was thinking, is that
just a bug?
A bug or what's going on there? Because it was like the dice turn up, like the dice roll, and then they sort of just the numbers glitch a bit, and then it goes on. So I just thought.
You see, this was interesting because Ben Simon tweeted at me and he was like, I enjoyed it, but I had loads of glitches and bugs. I didn't have any, so we've put that down to the fact that I waited 2 fucking months to play it and it might have been patched.
That's probably
so
it.
Who's winning now?
Yeah,
I didn't have much in the way
certainly
glitches,
not the listeners.
But I had loads of audio issues whereby conversations would happen over other conversations.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I had a couple of those.
Which I found a bit annoying, but
I had a moment where Sean was talking twice. Like he was saying 2 lines at the same time, and that was really
powers.
jarring.
He's using his powers to do
Sean hasn't got the powers, Matt. Keep up. Right.
So yeah, the results screen. What's interesting there is that. So yeah, basically you've got either Daniel won the game without cheating, won it with cheating, or lost. So in mine, so I called him out for cheating, played him again, and he still won. And so that's 32% people got that, 40% got won while cheating, and 28% Daniel lost. Did any of you guys have anything different? Or
Yeah, I got the second one. I got the Daniel won the dice game while cheating.
Right.
Yeah, same.
I got won it without cheating.
Yeah. So I don't know, I just thought
you
that
called
was
him out on it then, Matt?
Yeah, I called him out.
I just thought that was an interesting, because so many of the situations coming up are very much like they're a lot grander than this. Whereas this was just like, look, mate, you are just being a dick with your powers. Like, it's not in any way that matters, but this still isn't cool. So yeah, I thought that was interesting.
Well, I'm finding this very interesting considering the ending of this episode that I got. Like, yeah. I don't want to know what you got, but I do at the same time. We'll get there.
I forget what. So at some point he swears again, and you get an opportunity to be like, "No, curb it now, mate."
Again, there's no more swearing for me.
Yeah.
He just called me sir and like did a little bow every time I entered the room.
So I forget. Yeah, it might have been later on, but I just noticed it on the results screen there, and it's So I later told him to not swear quite so much, and it's on my results screen that he continued to not swear. Which
what have I got on my results screen? So I've got Daniel called everyone he met a fucking prick. That's what it was. So I guess that's
Daniel called you the C word.
That one. No, I mean I never pulled him up on swearing.
No.
I mean you can't tell him that's pretty fucked up what you did there, Sean.
It was. I forget what the context was, but I remember just thinking like, no, like it's fine when it's just the two of us. But he's
but that's your person. You've literally gone to him. Yeah, exactly. No, Sean, this is like that's really bad. Okay. You can't go, yeah, you're all right to swear, mate, and then like 10 minutes later, no, don't do that anymore. Like that's just fucking with his head. That's out of order.
It's just trying to teach him the rules around swearing.
Yeah, but your rules are when I think it's too much, you have to stop.
Like, or if it's directed at me, it's not.
I mean, what's interesting? So I'm actually in the majority. 59% of players got him to stop swearing, which is weird. Well, I wouldn't have expected most people to be that precious about swearing, but whatever.
No, because it starts off with swearing. Where does it go from here?
Exactly.
I mean, it could go anywhere.
Stealing, doesn't it, Matt?
Stealing and then doing drugs, both of which I have done
to survive,
in the game.
You can't say the C word in front of me.
Yeah, no. So I got. Daniel continued to swear because I'm not a square.
No.
Sure.
You're shaking him your image.
Laid into these two. Yeah, you know what I mean.
Right.
Daniel's well cool in my. You've
Cooler
got a
than
proper
me.
little nerd.
Some people say cool. Other people would say little prick. Like probably.
Well, and some people will tell you not to swear. Right.
Right. So that night, you basically, Sean decides that you can't stick around. You're going to have to move on. And they form loose plans to maybe go and find your grandparents on your mum's side, which is obviously a touchy subject because although they've not really gone into it, mum definitely ran away and everyone hates her.
Can I just address that?
Go on.
I really hope they don't lead up to she ran away because she had powers.
That's what I've been thinking.
I really hope they don't do that.
I hope that's not the case.
I hadn't even thought of that. That is horrendous.
It really feels like if you follow the because right near the start of this episode, that idea popped into my head and I couldn't shake it. And it seemed like everything was, she mysteriously had to get away from everyone and all this sort of stuff. And the fact that, Michael... Is it Michael, the granddad?
Stephen.
Stephen, sorry. Stephen knew that Daniel had powers without any real evidence. And it's my brain working overtime, and I just thought, please don't lead to that, because that is just so obviously shit. So that's just what's in my head at the moment regarding the mum. Sorry.
No, it's fine. So you make these loose plans. It's like, right, tomorrow we're going to go, and then you go to sleep, and then you wake up, and... Mushroom, the dog, needs a piss. So I just got up and let him out. And I've seen on YouTube that if you don't Daniel's just like, "Oi, mushroom wants letting out," and he just telekinesises the door and lets mushroom out for you.
That's what happened to me, actually, because
me too.
I didn't do it quick enough or something, and that happened.
Yeah, but I'll allow him to do that. But you can open the door if you want.
And then, basically, next thing you know, Daniel's gone out to find Mushroom because he's been a bit too long. Oh, yeah, you help Daniel pack his bag and stuff because he's got all fucking toys and stuff, essential survival gear. And then it's like, oh, Mushroom's been gone a while. Daniel goes off to find him and then doesn't come back for a bit, so you go after them. And there's blood on the floor. And then, was anyone surprised how quickly they kill off Mushroom?
It was horrific, wasn't it? I mean, I was shocked by this.
I don't know if I was. Like, I feel like I should have been shocked by this, James, but I'll be honest, the engine and graphical style they've gone for in this game doesn't really lend itself well to a dead puppy that's been chewed up by a cougar. Honestly, I looked at it and I thought...
the bark rubbing has died.
I was like, is that mushroom? Or is that just a
texture
like what
popping?
Is the texture pop?
Squirrel or something.
A cougar looking out.
It was weird.
But so you find Mushroom's presumably already dead on the floor, and there's all blood around her, and a cougar appears, and it becomes quickly very obvious that the cougar's killed Mushroom and is going to try and take her and eat her. Daniel, understandably, goes absolutely mental and picks the cougar up with a telekinesis, and you then...
Which is badass, let's just agree.
Cool. At that point, fucking go for it.
Yeah, I know, it was quality.
Yeah, because I guess the implication is, because obviously the previous day he was like trying to lift rocks and stuff and he was struggling with some of them, but like when he's pissed off or upset, he can ramp it up and it can pick up an entire cougar, which I'm pretty sure are quite heavy.
Which is great, right? But Matt just said something that we need to get to our choice in this situation very quickly. Matt, what did you choose? Did you intervene and let and stop Daniel from killing the cougar, or did you sit back and let Daniel kill the cougar?
I did not intervene. And he killed the cougar.
Fucking hell, Matt, you are insane!
Again, it was for survival. That thing could have hurt us.
Yeah, but you're teaching him to kill things.
Well, again, like if it's
with
life
his
or
powers.
Death, I wasn't sure that thing's going to attack us. He just killed our beloved dog, and I was like, "Well, look, it's life and death. If you have do it to survive. It's all about survival."
Right. Okay, but if you spill his chocolate milk in a diner, there's every chance that he's going to lift you up and snap your neck because who gives a shit?
What does he do to the cougar to kill it?
I guess he sort of like breaks it. He just like lifts it up, and then the dog's like, and the cougar's like, and then that was it, really.
Okay.
It doesn't like rip it apart or something.
I was going to say, it's not like full-on Akira where he's just like...
No, he just like...
I've got a feeling that these episodes are slowly going to turn into counselling sessions for Matt.
Why? I totally call my decisions.
Matt,
Why
you guys are outraged.
That's even more worrying.
I mean, why would you think it's all right to get a kid to kill something if you have a choice?
I wasn't sure that cougar was going to attack us and hurt us. Well, what do I just wait and say? Well, I don't want to hurt a cougar. Oh no, wait, Daniel's dead as well. Wait.
Well, that was not going to happen, was it?
That's definitely not going to happen.
It was just like a massive cat thing. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, but you got he could have defended himself to some extent.
Well, with what? He could have only used his powers. He didn't have a gun or anything.
With his powers, right? But what I'm saying is at that point in time, he lifted it up in rage and you let it snap its bones.
I was thinking emotional because our texture had just been killed.
I mean, to be fair to Matt, he's not alone. 42% of players let Daniel kill the cougar. So
it was just the emotion. It's like, dog had been killed. It was like it was life or death for us. I felt at the time we had to react.
Death for us. He had him hanging in midair. Okay, you weren't in danger.
What? So if I would gradually put him on the ground, then what? Just stood there while he destroyed us. What do you mean?
Well, let's find out. Let's find out what happened. Sean, did you let him kill the cougar?
No, I intervened and stopped him from killing him. And
and what happened? Are you all dead now? I suppose.
No, cougar just runs off.
Oh, that's right, isn't it?
Well, I didn't know it was going to be a pussy cougar.
It's not like a mountain lion or something.
A pussy cougar.
Dude, I just saw it was a massive cat thing.
Don't make me tell you to stop swearing.
Is that pussy cougar?
Look, as long as he doesn't say fuck, I don't care. But destroy that giant cat thing.
Okay.
This is mad, Matt.
So then
this
James Hamilton mad.
Just imagine that you're like setting this boy on this path to like lie, steal, cheat, and murder things.
Yeah, I know. Sean turning around to
They could have
Daniel.
ripped our heads off.
Sean turning around to Daniel and going, "Now the cougar's dead. Let's check its den to see if it's got any Choco Crisps so we can just go and fucking nick." Okay, right. So, James, I assume you were making sane decisions and let the cougar go.
Of course I did. I'm not a
good.
mentalist. I mean, it's just...
It's life and death, James. Wake up! If this ever happens to you, you'll be knocked. You'll be killed in 5 minutes.
Life and death for the cougar.
Yeah.
That's not... Right. Okay. Go on.
I mean, to be fair to Matt, I presume this means you got to actually bury Mushroom properly.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
I said, well, my note is, I said rip at the grave. So I said
Okay.
rest in peace at the grave. What happened to? What did you? Surely that happened to everyone. Didn't it?
Basically, yeah. So
No,
you
he was
put
too upset, wasn't he?
you put a grave together for him, but yeah, the cougar runs off with Mushroom's body. So,
Oh no! See, I made the right decision. Then you.
did you?
No, you really didn't,
I was
Matt.
able to bury Mushroom properly. So yes, definitely.
With a how old is Daniel in this? 9?
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
With a 9-year-old lying murderer. That you buried a dog.
Covered in
It's
blood.
just like ripped a cougar apart, and it's like, you know, it's fine.
Yeah,
Did you
there was a
bury
scene.
the cougar as well?
No, we burnt the cougar and kicked it into the river. No. And then Daniel sort of licked the blood off his face and said, let's go for another. Yeah, so I got to bury Mushroom properly and gave him the burial he deserved. Unlike you guys, just like let that giant cat thing walk off of it.
Mate, we only knew Mushroom for about a week. Fuck it, it doesn't matter. I
It
just don't want...
I mean, on the one hand, I'm glad they didn't do the like very obvious thing of like, oh, Mushroom's your friend throughout, and she saves the day several times, and then she dies at the end because of course she does because you're attached to her now.
Yeah, classic,
the fact that they just did it quite suddenly was a shock in its own way. But I don't know. I thought that was odd.
I also thought that it was probably I don't know why, but I think of the people that are writing this are just going, well, what's Mushroom doing now? Can we just kill it? Can we just get rid of it?
Look,
now?
if we kill Mushroom, we can sack these 3 animators. That's all they've been doing. It's just
yeah, it's true. The animators that made that texture popping thing. Yeah, get rid of them.
Texture and me as well. But we got to bury Mushroom, and then I got to say that she was up in heaven with Dad, which was again a really touching moment.
Yeah. I got that as well. So it's exactly the same, Matt. So it's fine. So you then go for a hike, and nothing really interesting happens, does it? You pretty much just get to your grandparents' place.
Oh, but I thought that bit was so nice.
It was, yeah.
With like the cinematography, the art, and like the style, and also they had that amazing song, which was basically by Mount Wolf. It's called Red.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys not remember like the musical moment in that?
I do,
Yeah, gotcha. I love all that stuff in these games.
But there's no event, is there? That you pretty much like,
No.
now we're here, which is fine because I didn't want them to overdo the.
Well, this is it, isn't it? I mean, when
yeah.
I spoke to Matt about after this, and I'm not going to dig you out, Matt. It's just
Do we want?
It's interesting to say that you were a little bit disappointed by this.
But basically,
episode.
up until like when Mushroom got killed, it was really slow. But from that moment, more things were starting to happen, and it did gradually ramp up, and it gradually got much better. But I think the first half of this episode was so slow, and obviously compared to the first episode, where so much happening, so many different characters, big decisions, it just felt like it was a very very slow start, and it did gradually work up to being good.
I know what you mean.
But I think my point is that like I really appreciate all the effort that these games, the Life is Strange series, and I'm including Before the Storm in this, the amount of effort they put into building character. Like, I don't need to play one of these episodes and it has to have a big amazing moment every like 5 seconds. And I'm not saying that that's what you're expecting either. Like, again, I'm not like arguing with you. It's just when I'm playing this stuff, I really appreciate the build up. And it was like what I said with Red Dead Redemption 2. The whole opening 2 chapters of that is so slow, but I loved it so much because you're just seeing these characters, their relationships start to become real and sort of form. And all right, okay, Daniel and Sean had a relationship before we saw where they were up to, when we first joined them. But we didn't understand their relationship, and it felt like that whole stuff in the cabin, you really got a sense of how they were with each other and what each other saw as crossing the line, or what irritated each other about things they'd do and stuff. I love that stuff. So with Life is Strange, I think they're so good at it that I'm a little bit more relaxed in letting them sort of take their time with this stuff. You know what I mean? I wouldn't say that I was sitting there going, "Oh, I'm loving this," but I'm appreciating what they're doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I understand your point, but it didn't sully the experience for me. It just it made me more excited about where they're going to go with these characters.
Yeah, and I will say, that moment, after the mushroom thing happened on the way to the grandparents, I was thinking like no other game is doing anything like this with like the way it had that sort of. It almost felt like sort of a soft music video with like the beautiful music. It was just like some shots of the town, of the forest, of the snow, like the cinematography, the style of the art altogether. No other game is just stopping essentially and just like having this 60-second montage really showcasing the artwork in the town and combine that with the beautiful music. I thought that was amazing. That's
sort of a staple. That's a staple of the series. What they do with their soundtrack is incredible. Yeah. And as James and I have said in the past, the scene on the train in Before the Storm was utterly incredible because of that, because of the music they were listening to and the shots of Chloe and Rachel on the train and everything. It was just, that game excels when it manages to build a relationship and you feel connection with the characters and then puts them in these scenes that where nothing's really happening, but it feels like an extended shot from a film, They
really sort of nail those sort of like quiet minutes of like kind of reflection as well.
Yes, absolutely. And that's what all that sitting down stuff is about, where you can just sit down and some music plays and then you can choose to get up or just listen to the music.
Speaking of, there's a couple of opportunities to do drawings in this. That drawing mechanic's still pretty rubbish, right?
Oh, it's awful. Yeah. It's appalling. Yeah. I mean, I like what they did with the drawing later on in this episode, but ultimately it adds nothing for me. I'm not a big fan of it.
Right. So you get to your grandparents, and it's a bit anxiety-inducing because you don't really know how they're going to take to you, because all you know is that your mum ran off and you've not spoken to him since. As it is, they are really lovely and they like welcome you in, and obviously they know like everything that's happened with your dad and stuff because it's been all over the news.
Well, this is it. I mean, the best part of that was when the door opened.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You recognised the grandma.
Yeah. It's her. Yeah, I thought that was great.
So for those of you that didn't play Captain Spirit, she was the one that intervened between what is it, Stephen, Captain Spirit?
No, Chris, the kid.
I'm getting all the names.
To be fair, they're all really boring, normal names.
And to be fair, I did play this 3 months ago, Sean. Yeah. So Chris and his dad have got a complicated relationship, and she was the woman at the end of that episode that intervened to try and help Chris out. And so the moment the door opens, you instantly recognise her, and I thought that was wonderful. Yeah. Genuinely, I was like, oh my God, that's brilliant. Yeah. That's really like a friendly face. You know she's a good person. It was sort of like, as you say, that anxiety was building up to knocking on the door, and when that door opened, it dropped completely. Yeah. And I was like, okay, I think you don't know that you're in safe hands, but you think you're in safe hands. And because you recognised her from that original episode, it was pretty special.
I don't know. I was a little bit suspicious of her when we first got into the house, because I just felt like she was going to sell me out.
I know what you mean, and that is played on very quickly, isn't it? Daniel gets taken upstairs and given some medicine. I forgot to mention he has a cough, which a
really bad cough.
Which I mean they kept sort of making out.
I don't know about that. I mean, I thought they were acting as if it was like this horrific. I was like, he's got a cold, mate. Chill out.
I was really waiting for the scene where he starts coughing up blood, but it's just like it's pretty bad. Let's get to the grandparents.
I mean, not only that, the acting wasn't perfect for that either, was it? Because the coughs were like,
it wasn't like a proper like raspy cough, was it? I mean, I get get it. Like, a relatively minor ailment, if you are living out in the fucking wild, can be a big deal. But yeah, that was
what they should have done was got a 60-year-old smoker in just for the coughs. So all of a sudden, Daniel's looking at you going.
I mean, it doesn't help. Early on, Sean was like, "You've had that cough for 3 days now. Who gets over most coughs in 3 days? Not that.
And you're living rough.
Don't happen, does it?
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, that's one of the reasons Sean decides you need to move on, because living in a knackered old house is making Daniel ill by the looks of it. So Daniel's got some medicine, he's in bed, and you have a sit down chat with Claire and Stephen, your grandparents, and then they're like, "Oh, we need to just have a talk." And then,
just round the corner where you can blatantly hear us.
Yeah. Did anyone else have to turn the volume up on the TV? I did.
No,
I mean, it was pretty loud.
Okay.
But
maybe
I have it
turned it down
subtitled anyway, so you can still read it.
Clever. Basically, Claire's talking about, I was going to say selling you out. She thinks the best thing to do for everyone might be to call the cops, whereas Stephen's a bit more like, well, hang on, no, that's not really going to work, is it? Because they'll just take them, and who fucking knows what will happen.
And also all of the drugs in my room.
Oh, yeah.
No, that's a joke.
So basically Stephen's like, can we just chat to Sean and find out what happened first before we make any decisions? And she's like, yeah, okay. So they come back through, and you get a quick conversation where, I mean, I don't think I gave much away. I just did the sort of, honestly, I have no fucking idea what happened, because it was absolutely insane, which I think is fair enough given the circumstances. And then, is it that night Daniel comes down to see you, or do you just go to bed? I can't remember.
You go to bed and then you have the option to either pray.
That's it.
Or so they sort of say, look, you can stay with us.
Yeah.
But there are rules.
Yes.
And you're living in our house. You have to do what we say. Yeah. And it's funny because, I'm not a religious person. Mm-hmm. And it's very clear that Daniel and Sean aren't religious. Mm-hmm. Or they certainly haven't shown signs of being religious at any point. But I just thought, regardless of, I mean, part of me was thinking, you've let me into your home and that's a big deal, and you're clearly worried about the situation, and I want to show my appreciation for it. But also the fact that you're in your nan's house, you know what I mean?
This is it.
Just do what they say.
It's fucking polite, isn't it? That's the
yeah, it is.
I did the same thing, because I just thought they've let us in. And they're, and it upset them.
It's interesting. So 89% of players did the same, and I'm willing to bet 89% of people who played the game aren't big Christians. But 7% refused to pray. This is interesting. Okay, so 7% refused to pray, and then 2% Claire prayed alone, and then another 2% no one prayed. So I wonder what the deal is
weird.
there.
I wonder. Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised that Matt got the same outcome as us on this one. You know what I mean? I would have thought no one had prayed because they were all dead.
Everyone's too busy eating Choco Crisps because they're absolutely loaded.
But
there was another court case.
You're like, nope, you're both guilty again.
But what's even more interesting is that Daniel can actually choose whether or not to pray independently of what you decide.
Yes, I thought that was really interesting.
Although only 4% refused. So I wonder what the deal is there.
I think you've got to be a total dick.
Yeah,
Matt, were you that 4%?
Yeah. Oh, am I that 4%? Or is Matt?
No, it was Matt. Were you the 4% who didn't?
Well, no, I prayed together with Claire and Daniel.
Okay.
But what about Daniel? Did he do it?
I don't have that on my choice screen. I don't remember.
It's on the very end, on the 6 out of 7 screen. Sorry, 5th.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Have a look, Matt.
I think you'd probably remember if he refused, right?
There's no mention of praying here. On the 6th.
No, they have just dropped it. They've dropped it, haven't they? They've dropped it out of Matt's save.
Here we go.
Because they didn't program that into the game, Sean.
Daniel agreed
He's fucked it up so much that happened, and they've had to patch it with that option.
Yeah, Daniel agreed to pray in mine. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Okay, that's
your Daniel had his fingers crossed while he was doing it.
He's looking for the window, killing cougars. In the street.
So the next day you wake up and you've got I think Claire says she's going out and she gives you some jobs to do, right? And it's just like tidy up, do some like wash some clothes because they all stink of living rough for the last month. You come out your bedroom and Daniel's playing with Stephen, the grandfather, isn't he? So he's got this like train set out.
Oh man, that relationship.
Yeah,
it was great.
I loved it so much when the first time I come out and I saw them, because it would have been so easy to make Stephen the sort of hard-nosed sort of pesky kids, type character.
Yeah, like, oh, here's my train set, but don't fucking touch it or something. Like yeah,
exactly. And it really reminds me of, when my dad's around my kids or when I was around my granddad, where, really they're quite straightforward blokes that, they don't like silliness. Yeah. But when they're around little kids, it's kind of like it's that sort of release to sort of be a kid themselves and, really connect with my son or me and my granddad. It was that connection there, and they absolutely fucking nailed it.
Did you also? I don't know, because I've always had this thing also with my dad and my kids and everything, where it's like he treats my kids way nicer than he ever treated me. Like,
oh god, yeah,
I get that.
Totally,
yeah, definitely,
totally.
Just, really nice.
But that's it. That's it, isn't it? I mean, it just nailed that. When you walk out and you see them both playing with the train set, and you could tell that Stephen was excited that someone was interested in his train set, and you could tell that Daniel respected him because he was having fun with him. It's just a relationship really nailed in that one moment, and you could tell that these two were gonna have an affection for each other. It was beautifully done. I thought.
So I think this is the bit where you have breakfast as well, right? So you can choose whether or not to help with the household chores. I ended up doing them all. Daniel didn't want to help tidy the room. Apparently he can choose to help.
I was gutted about this actually because he didn't choose to help me either. I did all of the chores, but I didn't do the extra chores.
Right.
And the reason for that is because if you remember in that scene, she opens a drawer and the handle comes off and she leaves it to the side.
Right.
And I thought, I'm definitely going to fix that while they're out. And when they went out, I went over to fix it and it didn't give me the option to fix it. So I just thought all the other stuff that I'd spotted, like washing the dishes and all that sort of stuff, I assumed that you weren't able to actually do that. So I didn't bother going over and attempting it after trying to fix the drawer. So I was absolutely gutted when I saw that in my stat screen at the end, like, you did no extra chores. I was like, I would have done. Like, that was the whole sort of role play that I was doing while playing this game, was to try and be the good guy and try and do everything for these people that have let me in their home. And so I was a bit gutted that I didn't do that. How about you two? Did you, Matt?
On mine, Daniel didn't want to help. He didn't want to tidy the room, and I failed to do all the extra chores. I think I also got done by the handle thing as well. I was up here because I was like trying to be really good and do everything and washing and everything, but it's just
James?
I helped with the extra chores, but he wouldn't do the room.
It's interesting. I wonder how you get him to help. So it's only 25% of players got Daniel to help. The other 73 didn't, and then
that's quite high.
2% just didn't even ask him.
Well, 1 in 4.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Yeah. And there's 4 of us here. None of us got it, so I'd question those stats.
Game genies, losing game genies.
So prior to that, you have breakfast, don't you? Sorry, that actually comes first, and it's basically it's not a huge event, but after you finish eating, Daniel starts doing his fucking powers on the plates, doesn't he? While Claire's in the same room.
I was livid at that.
Yeah, so
but I thought it was well funny, like, because it wasn't even that, but it was just like, woo, like, I'd be doing stuff all the time if I was, I'd be doing that sort of shit. It was so lame. Like, he did it on yours, Matt. He just snapped a cougar's neck, and now he's just making plates float.
I was so annoyed at the plates. Like, don't you dare do that. I mean, you can kill cougars left, right, and centre, mate. I don't care about that. But don't you dare spin a plate or lift it in this
plates
house.
Plates are crossing the line. It's like,
it's expensive crockery.
So did we all bollock him for that, or did some of you let him off?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Dave, did you thought it was funny, but did you tell him off anyway?
No, I told him not to do it. Cool. Yeah, cool. Because at that time I didn't want to. I didn't want her to find out that he had powers, basically.
Right.
Yeah, same here.
So I was keeping that secret. Yeah.
Right. So where are we? So
this is when you talk to Stephen.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. And basically, Stephen's like, come in here, shut the door. He's in like his little study at this point.
Yeah.
And he basically lets on that he knows about Daniel's powers, which, having looked on the internet, people are like, oh, how does he know, though? He doesn't have any proof. It's like, I'm pretty sure the breakfast incident is there just to illustrate that Daniel's not being all that fucking careful about how he's using his powers. So I just assumed that Stephen had seen something.
But it was strangely worded as well.
Wasn't it?
It was going to be an old switcheroo because he was like, I have noticed that thing about Daniel.
Yeah, it's like, you know what I'm talking about, don't you? Wink.
Yeah, but I wrote here that Grandad suspects some invisible force. And I was like, oh.
What?
Yeah. That's what I wrote down.
No,
you wrote that down. Sorry, I thought you meant that was like a thing in the game somewhere.
Yeah, but no, I don't understand. What do you mean inspects it?
No. I wrote here, like, Grandad suspects some invisible force.
But what? How have you got to that?
Yeah, that's weird, Matt.
Well, I must have written that from some of the dialogue. Maybe it wasn't that bit exactly, but...
Definitely not. Because he just goes, I've noticed, about Daniel.
Yeah, he's like, you know what I'm talking about.
Because then I was cautiously... So you get the decision whether to open up about it or try and hide it, right? Yeah. So I thought I should hide it because I'm not sure that we're talking about the same thing. Yeah. Like, he might have said that mole on his back.
Oh, yeah.
If the police find out, they'll never let me see him again.
But I just thought, actually, I really like this character, and seeing their relationship, maybe he will understand, and I don't want to lie to him in his own house, so I opened up about it.
Oh, no, did you?
I did.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
I didn't know I could trust him fully at that point, so I just said no.
Oh, you're just lying to everyone, and
no. Again, it's just leaning him against the world. Like, yes, like I didn't trust him enough at that point, so I just said no. I didn't know anything about it.
Wow. Okay, James.
Sorry, say that again.
Fucking hell,
James,
he's fully zoned out. It's like we've only been talking about the same thing for the last 5 minutes, James.
Sorry, James, are you watching a walkthrough while we're doing this podcast?
No, I was just looking through the decisions.
Did you tell Stephen? Is it Stephen?
Yeah,
it's Stephen. Yeah,
it's Stephen.
Yeah. Did you tell Stephen that? Did you confirm that Daniel had powers to him prior to at this stage of the game?
I did, yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
so all of you did. All of you told the Grandad.
Yeah, I mean,
of course.
I mean, we're in the minority. 46% confessed, and the other 54 pretended not to know anything.
Wait, so what happens if you pretend not to know anything?
Well, I guess that's maybe where I get the dialogue saying Grandad suspects some invisible force.
Oh, yeah, okay. Maybe that's how you got to that then.
But no, I said no.
Okay.
No,
so what? You just think the place is haunted then?
Yeah. When he said that, I was like, Yeah.
Well, it's just another person that's worked out that you're a fucking liar.
Again, anything to protect. I didn't know.
You're not protecting anything. Okay, all right.
So this is when you get the key from Stephen to go and because Claire mentions there's like a load of toys and shit out in the shed. So you get the key from Stephen. You finish all your chores. You put your outdoor gear on. You go out into the garden, and who do you see? It is Chris.
Right, I will say, right, before we get to this, I was really annoyed at this point, right? She basically said, you can't leave the house. Like the police could come and get us anytime, basically, because they've already been ringing around because next of kin and stuff. And then they're like, go outside. It's like, what? No, we're not going to go outside. We should shut the curtains.
Out in the back garden, that's not the same, is it?
Yeah, but like a neighbour could have seen and said, hang on, like, we know that you haven't seen your sons for ages, and like the Diaz brothers are in the news. It's like,
but I think their only neighbour is an alcoholic and a kid, so I think they.
Yeah, I don't
I'm with Matt on this one.
Okay. I thought the same, actually. Anyone could see us from the back garden. It's like, we're supposed to be hiding, for fuck's sake. We're on the run.
Matt, you can't sit there and question their consistency when you've been fucking lying to them from the moment you walk through the door. I mean, it's not fair. It works both ways,
no,
mate.
It doesn't work both ways. I'm lying to survive and to keep us protected. And then like, go outside. Why not? Like, who are these two children that we haven't seen for ages? And you've also there's two kids on the run that are in your family. I thought that was ridiculous.
Yeah, no, I kind of agree with you. I did think, why am I outside when I've been told strictly not to go outside? But there you go. Whatever.
So you step out and you see Chris running up to his treehouse, which obviously, having played The Awesome Adventures of Captain Spirit, you realise that is the moment where Chris's dad has just got abusive one of the many times, but just got abusive, and Chris has run outside to get away from him, and he's going to go hide in his treehouse. The top rung of the ladder, I guess you could call it, up to his treehouse breaks and falls away, and Chris falls to the ground, but then Daniel steps in and saves him. Like he lets him just hover just above the ground. And obviously, I mean, we knew this was coming once we recognised who the Diaz boys were, once we, when we got like the first trailer for Life is Strange 2. But obviously we now know for certain that Chris doesn't have any powers. Obviously he believes he does as a result of this, but it's Daniel that saved him. And then you have like a quick conversation with him, and it's like really obvious that Daniel and Chris are going to be best buds. And then there's a brief conversation where Daniel's like, I know that was against the rules. Should I have done it? And you can choose to bollock him again and be like, no, you should not have saved that child's life. Or you can be like, yeah, no, fair enough. Obviously, that is fine.
There's actually something before that. I mean, in this conversation, I think when Chris falls, he said, "Did you guys see that?"
Oh yeah, and you can choose to be like, "Nope, what are you on about?"
Yeah, you can say, "Wow," or basically, well, I said, "See what?" So I was just
Oh my god, I said, "Wow."
Again, I was trying to keep the power hidden.
I think I said I didn't see anything.
I said I d't see anything either.
You're not keeping your power hidden, you're keeping Chris's power hidden.
So I'm like, see what? Exactly. There was no power.
See what? Yeah. Okay, but did you bollock Daniel for using his power then?
Nah, no way.
No, I didn't, no.
No, I'm asking Matt.
Well, he said to me, "Did you want?" He said to me, "Did you want me to let him fall?" And I reminded him of the rules.
Oh, Matt!
Fucking hell!
Matt! What is the matter with you?
Actually, look at my notes. Some other stuff happened before this. Did any of you fix the ship that was broken in the glass bottle?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Yeah, I wrote here, fix the ship, lol. We'll probably get bollocks for that. Because I think, because there's like one of those like little wooden ships and like a glass bottle, and I guess me and like Daniel must have seen it, and I'd probably let him use his powers to fix it, and I thought, no, why have you done that? Because...
Whoa. You let Daniel fix the ship in the bottle?
All my notes were that I fixed the ship, and I think if I remember, it was like a little thing in a bottle, so I...
Let me finish this.
Yes.
You let Daniel use his powers to fix a bottle and then bollocked him when he saved Chris from smashing his head open. That's the logic you went with?
Yeah, I realised the fixed ship in the bottle was a mistake. I realised that.
Look at him, he's floundering.
I realised that was a mistake. Outside, but again, that's indoors. I'm not going to let like some kids see some magic powers who are probably
so indoors anything goes. Outdoors, kids can die.
And cougars.
And cougars.
It's just a good thing that he didn't snap Chris's neck, like when he fell out the thing.
Matt, this is incredible. This is incredible.
Yeah. Oh my god. Right. So this part in my notes. This is where basically I'm swearing a lot, even in my notes, because I'm absolutely livid. Because at one point, actually just before this, I said, "Stupid idiot Daniel picked up the phone. Jesus fucking Christ!"
Did he?
Rang the house and he picked up like, "Hey, it's like, what are you doing?"
Shit! That did not happen to me.
They know you're kids.
I didn't know
that happened to me either. Your kid's off the rails, mate.
I was like, what are you doing? We're supposed to be hidden.
I'm not being funny, Matt. He doesn't know the rules. He doesn't understand the rules because you...
I believe he knows the rules. We're on the run and keep yourself on the D-line.
Only use it in extreme circumstances. What, like a boy falling off of a tree? No, like a broken ship in a bottle.
All the big moments.
God, okay.
Oh, Jesus. Right. So, so 25% of players are on Matt's side, 75%, basically told Daniel it's fine, don't worry about it.
But basically, I said I reminded him of the rules. I don't think I told him off. I just said, basically we sort of had to do it.
Yeah, but that's like a proper Norman way of saying, like, well, you've got to remember the rules. Like, it's just proper... pure Crystal Palace fan.
Fuck off. I mean, a kid Phil, he uses rules, and I was like, he used his up powers, and I was like, yeah, just remember the rules. Also in that garden, when you were outside, he did a wolf howl. I was like, what are you doing? Stop bringing attention to us. We're two kids on the run.
So
trying to survive.
He does that. He
What a
only does
steal.
that if he kills the
What a
cougar.
murder.
Again, there was a cougar, and we needed the sleeping bags, James.
But, I mean, this really is now becoming an intervention, isn't it?
What? I'm
This
trying to
whole
protect
episode
us.
is
He's
okay.
answering phone calls and
Okay,
making
alright,
fucking
Matt.
wolf
Alright.
howls.
Do you know, I hope that you never have to protect me, Matt, because just
Yeah.
Well, it depends if you've got any like broken ships and bottles. Or if you answer the phone when we're supposed to be on the run.
Sure, you've got Matt and James drops to the floor with a heart attack, and Matt's like, let's see how this goes for a bit. You know what I mean? It's like,
No, James is on the floor. I'm like, James,
just lying
remember
to
the
the
rules.
paramedics.
Remember the rules, James.
okay.
So, I think that's it for that day, isn't it? You basically, it all wraps up, you go to bed, and then it's like, fast forwards like 1 week, I think.
Yeah, it's like a week or two,
Yeah,
isn't
and you
it?
wake up and like Daniel's just on the Etch-a-Sketch has written like gone to the neighbours.
Oh my god, again, livid.
What? Why?
Because-
Because he's gone out.
Because now he's on
okay.
next. Not only did he do a wolf howl and like answer the phone, now he's fucking around the neighbour's house. I was like,
Yeah, there's a bit of a piss take, to be fair.
I did checking the Etch-a-Sketch, gone to the police.
you idiot, you're supposed to be
Handed myself
hiding.
in, yeah.
Just posted on Instagram.
Exactly. Daniel logged in. It's like, no, or checked in.
On the run, yo.
Geotag.
I checked in at grandma's house.
So you get a little bit of time to yourself in the house. So your grandparents are both at church, and you can go straight over to next door to find Daniel. Or did anyone use the
Jerk it.
laptop or the phone?
I did, yes.
I was thinking the same thing. You used the laptop on the phone. Are you insane?
I did, yeah. The curiosity got the better of me.
So this is the thing,
James.
right? So I was tipped off, and I was told definitely, if anything, definitely do the phone.
I saw that tweet
Yeah.
and I thought, what?
Yeah.
Why?
So I didn't do it on my actual playthrough, but then I did.
Oh,
but then
really
I did.
Cool.
There's that you can play it in that other mode afterwards, where you can just try out chapters and do whatever you want.
Yeah.
So I did that and did them both. Did anyone else?
I did
Well,
neither.
No.
Phone, no internet.
Well, I just did it. I did both, so
Okay.
yeah.
Also, Matt, can I just point out you can't have a go at James for that? Because didn't you use a mobile phone to call your mate?
Yeah, you
Or
did,
Well,
whatever?
Matt.
but it was like the last thread of battery, and
I'm
it was like,
glad-
this is literally
So?
the last chance.
I am glad you
Right,
It's like,
mentioned
I've
that.
got 15 minutes on my own. I could rescue my brother from next door. Now I'll just use a phone and go on Google or something.
Yeah, but the grandparents only had a little bit of data left in their data plan. So,
There's a
say
lot of
logic.
chaps
Also-
over in America, so...
Also, using the computer's not going to do anything. You're not logging into anything on it. You're just looking at websites.
Well, to be fair, you weren't to know that, I suppose.
Yeah, I didn't know what
and
it's gonna
Stephen
do.
does say, look, I know you miss using the computers, but can you not for now?
Actually, bollocks, James, because the choices were you didn't use Stephen's laptop to log into your profile, or you did.
Oh, yeah, that's really weird wording.
So did you log
which
into your
is-
profile or not, James?
well, no, it's weird because you don't do that. You just look at newspaper websites.
Yeah, you just look at
There's
tabs
no-
that are already open, because Sean even makes a point of saying, this is what Stephen's been looking up.
Yeah.
Also, James, you've said that you use the phone as well to call someone.
I did,
so...
yeah. I did do
So,
that.
Yeah, well,
so
there
hang on,
we
wait,
go.
quickly,
Then your whole
let's
logic
just
falls
do...
apart.
Well, either way, he didn't log in because
Yeah.
he didn't have a mobile phone, so he couldn't have used two-factor authentication to log into his account anyway.
Fuck's
Well, he
sake.
probably didn't get set
But
up.
then-
He's only like 16. He probably isn't bothered about that.
Is it like when one of us tries to log into Twitch and we've all got text Matt? Oh, can you send me the code, please?
Yeah, that sucks.
So, right, let's just...
Stephen, could you send me that code?
Well,
yeah, I'm just logging into Twitch, Stephen.
we'll quickly just do the laptop first. So basically, it's just there's a couple of browser tabs open, and it's basically Stephen's been
bet there is.
googling Stephen's just been googling what is the latest on the Diaz boys and
Do
stuff.
boobs look like?
And,
Yeah. Did you get to look at Stephen's history or no?
It's just dead cougar found. That
yeah. Murdered
Cougar
in
ripped
cold
in
blood.
pieces.
But the phone.
He might have been searching for cougars, actually, Stephen.
Oh, poor Sean. Poor Sean's really trying to push this
Yeah, it's
forward
alright, it's
now.
fine.
No, but I had a really good great line about cougars. Don't worry about it.
Did you? Okay. So James, did you? Right. So in episode 1, did you call Lila on your mobile?
No.
Right. So we're going to get the same thing here, but I think we are anyway. So so you can use the house phone to call Lila. And did you get her mum on the phone?
I did get her mum on the phone, yeah.
Oh, shit.
So
okay.
This was fucking horrible. Basically, so if you didn't call Lila in episode 1 and you try and call her in episode 2, it's not explicit what has happened to her. But so basically, you can either say who you are or you can pretend you're Andy. Is it?
Yeah.
Andy. Yeah.
Andy. Yeah, exactly. He's like, oh yeah, it's Andy, and I think the mum recognises your voice anyway, and basically sort of bullshits along with you. But yeah, basically, Lila is in a clinic of some sort, and it's basically, the mum says like, oh well, she's showing some signs of improvement, but she just keeps talking about the Diaz boys. And
what is she in a clinic for?
Well, I think the implication is that either, I don't know, like obviously, like maybe she's had some sort of breakdown, or
that's what it sounds like.
Yeah. And this seems to hinge on whether or not you called her in episode 1.
Yeah, because I've seen a video of what happens when you use the phone after you've called her in episode 1, and she says that she's, she's having a bit of a breakdown because she's had to lie to the police about the phone call, and she's on antidepressants and stuff. So you've impacted her life quite a lot.
So I guess.
So yeah, but I haven't phoned her at all because I'm so worried about being caught by the police that I've avoided any sort of contact. Yeah. So yeah, no, that's not nice to know that that's going on, and I'm just oblivious.
And obviously it's an interesting parallel because you're putting all these rules on Daniel, and it's like affecting him, like the situation with Mushroom and stuff. Whereas Sean's been like relatively immune to the whole thing. Whereas this is the first example of like, no, this is what it is costing Sean, like trying to stick to the rules. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's because he didn't call her in episode 1, because he didn't keep in touch with her, she's now like fully off the rails. And he feels shit about that. So yeah, I thought that was really interesting. And I'm like, obviously I've not cheated, but I've managed to find that out without actually doing it in the game. And I think
but that's interesting because one of those that happens regardless, I assume. Then you know what I mean? Like that's happening in my game. I
you just don't know about it.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's probably not happening in your. It's probably okay. Yes, I guess the phone call changes who you speak to, but it's happening regardless. Yeah, I guess you're right. It wasn't like the phone call set her off. It was just like the whole situation has. Yeah,
no, exactly. The whole situation, because I haven't rung her the first time, she's obviously in a really bad state, but because I didn't really know the second time, I don't know that she's in a really bad state. Yeah. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's
I mean, yeah,
so you should have rang her, really, shouldn't you? So I think I made the right decision.
Well, again, it's the whole...
I mean, I'll probably be a free man, though,
Well,
Matt.
it's the whole theme, isn't it, of sacrifice and sticking to the rules or not, and what it costs you trying to keep yourself safe, isn't it? So, yeah, I thought that was really good. And easily missed as well. Like, I don't think I would have bothered if I hadn't been tipped off about it.
Yeah, I've got a feeling that those that didn't phone the first time won't phone the second time,
Or equally, like, so 65% didn't use the phone, but then how many of them just didn't even know it was there? Don't know. It's interesting.
I think it makes it quite clear that you can use the phone.
I didn't get like a queue or anything, so I walked past Stephen's room and he was like, oh, I could use the laptop, but he never said anything about the phone.
The phone's right next to it, isn't it?
I think the phone's in the living room.
Oh, is it in the other room? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think I saw that.
All right, okay.
Although I saw it, and but I had learnt my lessons from ringing her, then chucking my phone 2 feet onto the road in the previous episode.
Okay, so after that, you go over to Chris's house to find him and Daniel playing, and Daniel, the little shit, is using his powers, but he's allowing Chris...
the little shit.
Yeah, he's allowing Chris to believe it's him doing it and not Daniel, which therefore Daniel thinks is fine, but obviously is just quite mean in a whole other way. So Daniel goes to use the toilet or something, and then Chris makes you... Like, he's got all his toys out in front of him, and he's like, oh, you need to... I want you to tell me like which ones are goodies and which ones are baddies. So I want you to figure it out. Is there any?
Didn't like this.
Yeah,
bit.
I didn't get this at all. Like,
yeah, I mean, is it just like random luck, or are you
no
supposed
idea.
to remember?
Like, well, because Chris keeps
maybe you're supposed to remember, but my point is that this was needless. We need to get them to do something sort of gamey, at some point, because there's been a lot of just walking around picking things up, and there's not been anything traditionally gamey in this episode yet, and it felt like they tried to cram this into. I mean, it felt like it. I might have just been missing the point, but
you had the snowball fight at the beginning. That was all right.
Yeah. Lasted 2 seconds, but I don't know. For me, whatever they were going for didn't really come across.
No, and it
thought it was a bit weak.
Chris's dialogue implies that like there is like a sign that you should be looking for, but you don't know if that's a real thing or if it's just him being an annoying child. And just kids just like make stuff up just and go, no, you got it wrong. So I got that wrong, and it seems that is the key to getting Chris to trust you or not, because you can sort of
it all starts from there, doesn't it?
Yeah, so you can start asking him about his relationship with his dad, because I forget exactly how Sean picks up on it, but you can tell. I think it's a comment that Claire makes, right? And then I think
he's troubled or something.
And I think you see Chris has like a mark on his face and the bruise on his arm and stuff, doesn't he? So you can just be like, how are things with your dad? And Chris is sort of a bit evasive. So I failed to gain Chris's trust, as did 81% of players. Am I right in thinking it's the same for
Yeah, failed.
Yeah, me too.
So 15% gained his trust and got him to open up about his dad. 4% gained his trust and then didn't ask about the dad. Which is
Do you trust me? Do you trust me? Yes. Okay, let's move
on. Nothing more to discuss. So I thought that was weird.
This whole section, my notes for this section are, it is in caps. OMFG, he's doing his powers in the house.
Yep.
He's playing with the neighbour. Okay, this is actually now in like a numerical list. That's how mad I was. He's playing with the neighbour. He told the man names. He said they were our grandparents. He said it hasn't been out for the days. Oh my God, we're going to the fucking market. Jesus.
You're just thinking, why isn't he lying? I've been teaching him to lie.
I'm teaching him to survive and like avoid other people or something.
I tried everything I could not to go to the market.
Oh God, yeah.
This was weird.
Saying,
this was very weird.
We're not going to the market.
I hated it.
After being so careful about the rules and reminding Daniel and stuff, turns out all you need is an alcoholic going, come on.
It's the market, boys. No, also, I hadn't told the grandparents. It's so they'll be worried, and we're in public. It's just,
they do this again later with, don't want to jump ahead, but they do this again later with going into the mum's room as well, where, I was adamant that we weren't going to go in there, but you literally have no choice. And I, it's one of those things that you're just going to have to let go, that these games are obviously full of moral choices, but they do have to follow a thread at some point. And there are going to be, what appears to be a choice, or where you feel there should be a choice, and that's taken away from you. So, I was, at the time, I was pissed off that the game was forcing me to do something that I very clearly didn't want to do. But I get to the point where I kind of just drop that and say, well, the game's got a story to tell. I can't completely destroy the narrative.
That's fair enough, but... It depends on how effective the game is, isn't it, as to whether it can sort of steer you in that direction without it feeling too jarring. And I think with that did feel jarring, because I just thought, considering how Sean's behaved so far, he would never do that. Yeah. I didn't think it didn't seem right.
No, I think you're absolutely right, and there is a way of writing that story without having situations where the characters would be completely out of character to go and do something that you never think they would do. It's not, they're not entirely faultless in that, but I do think you do, I personally think I need to cut them a little bit of slack, because they are writing a story, and you're right. I mean, it could be done better.
The counter argument is, so if I got my own way, the rest of the story is they never leave the house until their dying day. The end.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's kind of it. And And but then the counter argument to that would be, we'll find a better excuse for them to leave the house, rather than, as you say, the drunk dad going, "Come on, mate."
Also, I put walk into town. I'm so mad. They're literally in the back of a pickup truck going through the small town like it's a fucking parade. That was weird,
wasn't it? Is that a thing they do in America? I know they're not so keen on the nanny state and stuff, but. Just putting two kids on the back of a pickup truck.
But again, two kids on the run. Okay, you're going to drive in town. Maybe go in the front seat and hide down. Not sit on the back like it's a fucking parade. Also, Chris is only wearing a t-shirt and it's winter.
So again, I agree with Matt about all of those things. It makes no sense.
Yeah, that was weird.
Come on. Whenever I've seen this sort of scene in American cinema, though, there's usually a bit of tarpaulin in the back that they can just hide under, right?
Just parading.
And then someone gets a bag and chucks it in the back of the truck, but it lands on the kid and makes them go, "Oh!" And then they look back and then they go, "It's probably nothing." And they walk off, right? Yeah. That's usually what happens in American cinema. Why hasn't this happened?
These guys are waving, it's just... Oh, it's so annoying. And
blowing kisses.
Okay, there's a kid like a small town where everyone probably knows each other, and we're just like the two. Oh, yeah. Again, I was very angry at this point.
No, okay.
So when you get to this, so you're going to this Christmas market to get a Christmas tree, and as you get out of the truck, you have another little chat with Daniel, where basically arguing over about the fact that Daniel is showing off his powers to Chris, but allowing Chris to believe that it's him doing it. And you get the choice, which is either you keep the secret about Daniel's powers, which means allowing Chris to believe that he has powers, or you tell Daniel to come clean. What did you guys do, Dave? What did you pick?
I said to keep the secret.
Yeah, same. Matt?
Yeah, same. Yeah, definitely.
James?
I also did that.
Does this mean,
now I feel...
Does this mean we all got the same?
Save it.
Save it. The thing is, my thought process here was, A, it's too late, right? So Chris already knows about the powers. B, I'd rather Chris thinks he has the powers and then, he can't prove it. Mm-hmm. So if the police turn up or whatever, some weird shit, he can't prove it, so he wouldn't be in trouble. They'd just think he's a kid, making stuff up. And Chris wouldn't know that Daniel had powers, so he wouldn't sort of blab to anyone that Daniel had these powers. So, at the time, I thought my logic was sound.
No, it's totally logical. It makes total sense to do that.
So an interesting wrinkle with this is that, on another results screen, it reveals that you can ask Daniel to tell the truth, but he might not do it.
Right, that's great.
So,
that's great.
Yeah, no, it totally is. So, 20% Daniel obeyed and told Chris the truth about his power. 25% Daniel was told to tell the truth, but continued lying to Chris. And then 55%
Well,
he
this
wasn't
is
asked
it.
to.
I mean, Matt could have demanded that he told Chris, but he wouldn't have.
Well, yeah, because this is the thing. So, does this carry on, from obviously episode 1 ends with you, saying you're definitely not going to lie to Daniel anymore, or you'll try not to. Pretty sure that was James. Was that you who chose that one?
No, it was Matt. Yeah.
Any insane decision you can just put to Matt.
Exactly, because I didn't want to lie to him, because it may have to happen if I need to save us or him.
Okay,
but that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, though, Matt. Daniel definitely wouldn't have told Chris if you'd asked him to, because you've been lying in front of him non-stop to other people. That that he definitely would have just taken.
I said Daniel wasn't asked, so good job.
Yes.
Exactly, fine.
Good point. Good point.
Unsaid. It didn't need to be said. He knew.
Yeah. So we all chose to protect the secret, basically.
Definitely.
Yes.
So then you mooch around at the Christmas market for a little bit. Pretty rubbish, this bit.
I didn't like this bit.
I've been to similar ones. I've been to similar ones, boy.
I hear in my notes where Daniel was doing my nutting.
Yeah.
So
why?
I didn't write any more other than that. But
okay.
What was Daniel doing? They were just looking for a
treat. Around again, just if you're here, just at least try and keep yourself to yourself. And he was probably running around being a little kid. And I was like, I think I was very tense and anxious at that point.
So it mentions. It's like, I need to get a Christmas present for Daniel. He's been through a lot, it's the least I can do. And it says, sort of says and if possible, I should try and get a present for Claire and Stephen. And there's a yo-yo that you can steal. It's in like a charity box. And then there's some really shit Christmas decorations. Like,
they're
all naff as fuck. And I mean, I suppose the chipmunk carving is okay, but that was like $10, and I only had like $9.20 on me. So I stole the yo-yo and I bought one of them. It was like a polar bear sat in a chair or something.
From a charity box.
We're the charity case. We're the charity case in this, David. This is
good point. Good point.
For some reason, I had no money at all.
Okay, not at all.
You started with $40.
I don't know why. I had
spending
no
it
cash.
on cookies and pop.
I spent it on cookies and pop, so I had no money.
And pop.
So when I was going around that Christmas market, I couldn't buy anything anyway. So the only choice I had was to steal. There was no other option, and I couldn't.
Well, you could just not steal and not give them anything.
You can't.
Well, there's no need to call me that. Listen, there must have been
no, there's
an
no
option
option
to not do it.
No, there's no option, because if you look at the options that there are, like, the ones that people have chosen, you have to choose one thing. Like, you either have to, it says here, you either bought a Christmas present for Daniel, you stole one, or you found several Christmas presents for Daniel. And it's like, there was no option to get through. So I had to do it. I was really annoyed, because I was like, I've been trying not to do what Matt does, like, the whole time.
And now you've become...
it forces you to it.
I wouldn't steal from a Christmas market, though.
Looks like the Matt has become...
The matter.
I don't know how to finish that. But I got like a crappy $5 decoration thing that sucked. I mean, it looked embarrassing, but I just thought, well, it's
even more embarrassing when the circumstances you actually hand it over. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
I bought a toy snowman. I think that was also like a $5 thing.
Okay.
Yeah,
cheap
I think that
cheerful.
was it. That's what I got.
Rather than steal,
Yeah.
Matt, you've been thieving for hours.
Again,
the other judgment now.
A sleeping bag's a bit different to a fucking toy. Sleeping bag is life, and it was a survival thing.
That's fair.
Yeah, but Matt, I was forced into it. You weren't. You had the choice.
But not because of the game, because I had to protect my brother. You decided, well, I'll nick that.
Well, no, because I had no choice, Matt. I wouldn't have done it if the game hadn't forced me to.
Yeah, but you spent all your money. You should have saved some money for it, shouldn't you? You know, Christmas is coming up.
What, like you did? Like the money that you tried to nick off people and everything. I mean, like at the beginning, like last time when we said when in the first episode where you only got $20 because you lied to your dad.
That's not stealing money off people.
Matt. Yes, you were You tried to steal money off people.
But James has made that like as a pickpocket.
But you essentially were. There was a donation box for the park, and you cracked it open.
Yeah.
But that's not a charity box, and also there's nothing in there, and also I'm desperate.
All right. Okay, all right.
So, while you're at the market, there is a young woman busking.
Oh, no, before that.
Okay, go on.
You know when you bought that snowman toy, Dave? Oh, sorry, was it just me and Dave who bought the snowman, or bought a toy, right?
I bought a toy as well.
Yeah. I was also annoyed because basically I gave him my entire life story. He said, "Oh, we don't get many visitors through this town. Like, who are you?" And like, "Oh, I'm Diaz. I'm living with my grandparents."
I'm the guy from the paper.
Like, what are you doing? Lie.
No, he didn't. I'm pretty sure he didn't say any of that.
I didn't say any of that either.
Me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's just. Yeah, he said, "Oh, yeah, so, we don't get many new faces around here. Who are you? You with Stephen and Claire?" I was like, "Oh, yeah, grandparents." And, "Oh, what are you doing?" So annoying.
I was just like, "Oh, we're staying at a motel." And, yeah, I'm sure it was really convincing.
Yeah, I wish I said that.
So there's the woman busking. You can go over and listen to her song.
Sorry, good. So so the buskers then.
Yeah. I thought that was a bit crowbarred in. It's just
didn't love the characters.
Did you not? Okay. So you end up chatting to her a bit, and you find out her name's Cassidy, and Sean obviously fancies her. And
that was stupid too. He's like, "Hey, so do you what did you say? Like, do you like me?" Or it was just a bit like, "What? How I'm just listening to you play music." It's just.
I don't remember that being that straight up.
No, me neither.
Hey, do you like me?
I mean, I remember finding it. I watched a video before this just to acclimatise, and she said some really over the top dialogue. And he's like, no. It was just.
Yeah, because initially I found it weird how Sean was like really anxious talking to her, because it's like, mate, she's about like 6 years older than you. I wouldn't worry about it. But then actually, when you are that age, that is still terrifying.
Oh, God, yeah. Totally.
That made sense.
I just thought they were a little bit more cliched than we're used to in these games.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Do you know what I mean?
Totally.
It was kind of like, hey, man, we're just trying to get a win.
They certainly weren't as well drawn as like Brody was, like in the first in the first episode.
Yeah, I know what you mean. But yeah, basically, so Cassidy lets on that she's with like a group of people who travel around hitching rides on trains. And the next place they're going, they've got some work lined up. Which we'll get onto at the very end, but yeah, and then there's like a sort of weird like right wing guy who starts giving him shit.
Hey, what are you doing around here, you crazy
punks,
kids? Hey, why don't you get off our back, man?
It was very much that, wasn't it? I was a bit like, I find you both kind of irritating, to be honest. But
yeah, absolutely.
I think like broadly, I stuck up for Cassidy and her mate. I was just like, oh, they're not doing any harm. What's your problem?
Yeah, totally.
Fine.
That's kind of right. These games are built on manipulation, right? There's no way of getting around it. It's just that's what these games do, and I'm not. Some people find that horrific. I don't. I think that's part and parcel of what these games try and do. It's just how well they do it, how subtly they do it, and how well it works. And that was one of those situations where I literally just stepped in because the game clearly wanted this relationship between Sean and Cassidy. You know, no, like not when I say relationship, I don't mean like a love interest necessarily, but just that you could see they were connecting, but it didn't feel like they should be. You know what I mean? Like that's the first time where I just kind of thought they're kind of forcing this.
I was talking to her and I was like, if she tells me her name, she's gonna come back in the game at some point. If she doesn't, she is just
It did feel like they're setting this up as like in episode 3. Yeah. You know, this is gonna. You know, it's
totally. So what else? So.
Did you guys decide to prank the guy from the market?
Oh, I didn't. No. What happened?
No, I didn't do that.
How do you do that?
No, I didn't either. Basically, my notes are like, I chose to drop it rather than prank him. Lol. I don't know.
That's right. Yeah, because you can. Yeah.
Is that on the option screen?
No, I don't think it is.
No, it's not. It's just one of the things I wrote down. So
which is annoying because I chose not to do it because it's irresponsible, draw attention, blah blah blah. But actually, if it's not
get involved,
like if it's not on the results screen, that probably means it doesn't matter. So
no, I don't think it does. It's just a little thing. But I was like, I'm obviously not going to like prank this guy. I'm just a random guy listens to some busker. It's like,
mate, it's 2019 and they're teenagers. they would, you know, you've got to get in their mindset.
You
can literally go up, spit in his face, and then go, "It's just a prank." What? You know what I mean?
That's how they talk.
It's fine.
So
that's all the 19-year-olds are like in Sutton.
Yeah. So while you're there, you also get the option to sit on a bench and draw, and you just do like a little, you know, landscapey drawing, and then Chris comes running round. He's like, "Oh man, that's amazing! Could you draw something cool on it?" And then you get the choice of either drawing some zombies or like a spaceship. I
drew a second referendum.
Okay. Now that is fantastical, Matthew.
Science fiction, dude.
Shut up, the lawyer. Just don't even attempt to be fucking have I got news for you. It doesn't work.
What would a second referendum look like, Matt, if you drew it?
I don't know. It's a pipe dream. Don't get political.
Yeah, so I drew a spaceship because we know Chris. Chris likes space.
And I think most people agree. That's 39% drew a spaceship.
I also did a spaceship.
Yeah, 17% did zombies, and 44% didn't draw him anything, which I presume means they didn't do the drawing at all.
Yeah, didn't get that.
Rather than like,
but wouldn't it be wicked if he come up and says, "Can you draw me something?" No.
Fuck off, mate.
It just goes on to the next bit.
So yeah, that bit was I thought that was quite sweet.
Yeah, it's lovely.
And you know,
absolutely, because and that's what I was when we were talking about the drawing earlier. That's what I was referring to. The fact that it gave you options of like previously you've just been looking up and drawing what you see, whereas this was like you're using your imagination a little bit more, and it gives you options of because it wasn't just draw a spaceship. It was like we need to draw other things in here, so you could draw like you could add bits to it that you weren't you haven't been able to do before in these drawing segments.
And that sort of gets Chris to open up a bit about his mum as well, because she's like, oh yeah, my mum was a comic book artist, and that was quite nice, I thought. So that's that. You get back in the car with a Christmas tree and some shite presents. Drive back to the house, and so the kids
followed by about 8 police cars,
followed by SWAT.
And you get to have a quick chat with Charles, Chris's dad. And he sort of, he talks about the fact that, Chris's mum is gone and he's struggling with it. And you kind of have a chat with him about that. Now, I thought I did everything right here, but I didn't get him to open up properly. Did anyone manage that?
No, I had the same situation. I genuinely thought we had quite an open conversation. But my stat screen said that he didn't open up, so I guess I missed stuff. Yeah.
See, I didn't get that because I got the thing where I had the choice and I said I just didn't want to get involved.
Yeah, same here. Yeah,
because I see this was actually one of the aspects of the episode that I found the most interesting, and because it fed into like all the stuff that had happened in Captain Spirit as well, like gave loads more context with that, and it was just you saw sort of how tragic that whole setup is there. And I just felt I don't think it's right for me at this stage to like start telling him what to do or whatever. It's
weird, isn't it? Awful. Because what Sean would do in that situation versus what you, as this omnipotent player who's already had an insight into his life, would do, are quite different things. So it's kind of it doesn't really make any sense for Sean to be trying to intervene. No. But you as the player want to because you've played through the Awesome Adventures of Captain Spirit already. So, I know what you mean. It is a bit weird. But
well, the main choice there, I also did the same as James, is like you didn't get involved in Charles's problems. But I do remember...
the thing. Sorry, go on. Sorry, you finish.
I do remember that also there was like a dialogue choice where I basically said that the grandparents were worried about him. I think there's a choice about that. Like you can say they don't care or whatever. But I said they were worried about him, or they were concerned for him at least, because I wanted him to know that they did care.
Yeah. So I presumably same as Dave. I tried to talk about it, and I thought we did. But then according to the results screen, we didn't, along with 92% of players. So. That's quite interesting.
Yes, no, that's the feeling that I got. We addressed it, and he did reference it. But maybe there's some extra dialogue. I suppose there if you propagate.
At no point did he explicitly say I'm on the booze. So
no, but you kind of knew he was on the booze anyway, because Sean makes the comment outside his house, doesn't he? When you first turn up there, and he sort of points out how many beers there have been. But it's that. I think I brought up the drinking, and he said, "I know it's got bad, but it's." And then he explains it's because of his wife, and then that's what made me think, okay, we've opened up about it, and then I was quite shocked to see that he actually didn't. I'm really interested to find out what is said when he does properly open up,
and it's interesting. Looking at these results screens, don't Nod look at this and be like, oh, we fucked up, no one got to talk to him about it properly? Or is it supposed to be that way? Is it supposed to be difficult or cryptic?
No, I think they'll know. I think they'll have a fair understanding of what hoops people have to jump through to get certain things, so they'll have a percentage in mind. I'd have thought. But they have commented on the past, on season 1, how certain things didn't happen. Like the percentage was way lower than they thought it would be. And they've learned lessons from that. But they're not necessarily looking for 50-50 or, 100% in a certain direction. But I think there is I think they have a fair understanding of what you have to do to get to that place and how many people will actually do that. So that's just speculation.
Yeah, I mean, so just broadly speaking, I was gutted at the end when it turned out. So I failed to get Chris to open up and his dad. So that felt really shit to me because I wasn't really sure if I had really had the opportunity to, if you know what I mean.
Right.
And it turns out I did and fucked it. So I was gutted about that. Did anyone else feel the same, or were you pretty much?
No, I felt it was the right thing at this stage, not to talk to him, so I didn't.
I mean, based off what happens at the end, it might not matter. But
I wasn't gutted about the situation. I just thought that I was more intrigued than anything else.
Yeah.
Like, oh right, okay, so he didn't fully open up. It felt like he did, but he didn't.
I suppose I understand, like James, what you're saying in that. Actually, if this was real life, you are basically a stranger. It is totally not your responsibility to handle something like this. But obviously, it being a video game, it's like, no, I'm the hero of the story. I want to fix everyone's lives, which isn't. It's not real life, is it? So yeah, that's an interesting one.
No, and judging by the reaction, I mean, I've said this a million times, but in these games, getting the best ending isn't always getting the most impactful ending. And I think this is you could frame this episode because I've seen reactions to this episode that are wildly different from mine, and you think, how? Until you realise that their ending of this episode was so different to mine, and you go, right, I can see why you thought that this was a pointless episode now. But yeah, okay, we'll get to that.
Cool. So you get back to your grandparents' house, and so Daniel really wants to look at your mum's old room. This is like, it gets mentioned a couple of times. It's like, oh yeah, that's the room she used to stay in, but it's locked and we don't go in there, and you're never going in there, so don't ask. And then so Daniel's like, no, I really want to see her stuff or whatever. And again, this was one where Sean sort of gives in, and it's like, no, why would you? This is clearly...
I really didn't want to. I was like,
this is another false choice, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like you have no choice.
Yeah.
And because I really didn't want to do it either. I just thought they've been good to us. Why they've told us not to go in there? It feels a bit horrible.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and it continues with that as well, which is really frustrating. Where I looked at a couple of things in there, and I was constantly thinking, right, let's go.
Yeah.
But it won't let you.
Yeah.
It
Until
just
you
won't let
caught.
you just walk out early.
So,
which obviously, again, is a narrative push. It's just frustrating in a game where you're supposed to be making choices and you don't get to make a choice in a certain instant.
For sure.
I think it would have been better if they'd have done something like you find Daniel's broken in there on his own or something.
Well, because I sort of wondered, because you can do a load of faffing to find the key, which was a bit boring and rubbish, but I did it anyway. But again, felt really grubby because I was like going through all my grandparents' stuff to try and find it, which wasn't really nice. But you do. Exactly. And you also get the option of just letting Daniel bust it open with his powers. Did anyone do that?
No.
But it'd been good if you'd gone upstairs and then found him in there. Or
exactly.
Something.
Yeah. If you just it's like fuck it, I've done it anyway. I've got powers. What are you going to do? But yeah, so you get in there and.
Oh, sorry, I did use the powers.
Oh, you did? Okay, what happened?
Matt, your logic is just all over the place.
I didn't write it down as a note, but I just remember that I think I tried to find the key and couldn't, and then he might have asked again, and then I was like, oh, for fuck's sake.
Mainline
Stick to the rules until you get bored.
It's for survival.
That wasn't survival, that was just because I couldn't find the key, and I was like,
the door was going to kill us.
It's a heavy door.
So what does he do? Does he just fully bust it down, or does he just...
No, he doesn't rip the door into it. It's just does some things and it's pops open.
Oh, okay.
Because I was like, if we do that, then there's it's going to be pretty hard just to close the door and whistle.
Yeah.
So nothing happened. Yeah, but it wasn't as bad. I thought it was going to be a stable door by the time he was done with it, but it wasn't quite that bad.
Okay.
Anyway, I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to go in the room at all because just as you said, Sean, I didn't want to root around their stuff, and they'd said countless times, "Don't go in there," and I was like, "Yeah, we won't go in there." I'm happy to not know, but
it's like if you're going to live there, there's going to be other opportunities to have the conversation and maybe win them over eventually without upsetting them. So, but obviously that's not how it pans out. So you get into the room and your mum's stuff is everywhere, and it's all 90s teenager stuff because obviously that's presumably when she last lived there. But crucially, there is a letter from her that like they received like that week. And it's basically your mum saying like, yeah, if my boys come to you, like please look after them. There's a return address, but it's just a PO box number, so it's not one. And I thought that was a nice touch that they mentioned that, because otherwise you might be like, well, doesn't it have a fucking address we can go and find her? But actually, this PO box doesn't necessarily mean anything.
It does also make you question that conversation round the corner when you first turn up.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? When they're sitting there going, well, should we or shouldn't we? I mean, they've been told by I suppose you might still have that conversation if you don't trust her anymore.
I think the thing is, like, Claire's logic is that she thinks calling the police is, like, helpful because she's an idiot.
Right, okay, gotcha, yeah.
So, yeah.
I can take that. I can accept that.
I mean, so there's other stuff you can look at. I don't know, none of it was particularly impactful, I thought. No. It was all just...
There's not much to say other than a little bit of shading around the character of their mum.
Mm-hmm.
And again, everything to me was kind of, because I had this idea in my head, was pointing towards she had powers and that's why she left. So yeah, I was a bit preoccupied with that stuff, to be honest with you.
What I thought was interesting is that she had the same poster on the wall, I presume, of a band that was in that first like rickety house you go to in this episode.
Really?
So I was like, hang on, so like I got the impression it was like a
popular band. They're a popular band.
Well, I think popular band, but then I thought, hang on, I got the impression that room was the stuff that was in there when she left, like many years ago. And I was like, well, is this a recent band or was it other house left in like the same time period? I was like, oh, it's not. It's weird. It's the same poster.
Maybe your mum's got powers.
The Beatles have been appreciated over many years.
Wasn't the Beatles, baby?
Your mum's got powers, and she stayed at the other house, and she trashed it, and that's why she had to run away.
Yeah.
Cracked it, boys.
On the way.
Absolutely, yeah.
No, I know what you mean. For a game that a series that has enjoyed like dropping hints like that, I think it's fair enough to like read into stuff like that. But yeah, we'll see, I guess. So yeah. Surprise, grandparents come home, find you in the room, and Claire does sort of be a bit of a twat, doesn't she? She sort of implies that, I don't know, like maybe she's going to hit Daniel or something.
Oh, I didn't get that feeling.
Did you not?
She
said something about you've broken the rules for the last time, and now I need to teach you a lesson or something. And like one of the dialogue options is like, what the fuck do you mean by that? Which I didn't go for. I tried to.
I took that as she was going to call the police, as you said. Like I never got the feeling that she was.
Well, maybe that's just
going to hit him. That would have been way out of character for her, considering what she'd been through.
She should have done that. She'd be dead in a cougar in like 2 seconds. Dead.
True, crumpled up next to a textureless mushroom.
But yeah, as it turns out, it doesn't really matter because Stephen, who is downstairs, his wobbly cabinet falls on him.
That was terrible. It was brilliant. That was the way, because you say that earlier, don't you, in the episode?
Yeah.
It's just like,
that's cabinet. Am I right, guys?
She's always telling me to get this fixed. Sorry, man, that was very good. I've just got
that. My last day of retirement before retirement. Yeah. Okay.
So you all rush downstairs, and so Stephen's trapped under this cabinet, like his legs stuck under it. And is it like at the same time the police come knocking, or is it immediately after?
No, it's immediately after.
So you're stressing out what to do, and obviously Daniel's like nodding at you, like, "Do you want me? I'll lift it. It's fine." And you can tell him not to, or you can let him do it. What did you guys do?
I let him do it.
Did you? Okay.
I let him do it, of course.
Matt?
Yeah, I let him do it.
Okay.
I thought I was going to be the only one to do that, and you guys are going to like give me shit.
But... No, it's my turn, I think. So I didn't let him use his powers. We did it ourselves.
Oh God!
My
because it's about teaching him that he doesn't need to use his powers all the time.
But
it's when someone's in a bad situation.
No, but he's in a really bad situation. He already knows about his powers.
And
you know what I mean?
But Claire doesn't.
The only thing... Yeah, that was the only thing that I was second-guessing. Yeah. But at this point, Claire was furious at me. And if I could show her that I could use these powers for good, maybe that's like a side bonus. That's like just a little extra touch for that. But I was more worried about, that it all goes back to that relationship where I thought they were so good together that regardless of what I said, Daniel would have wanted to do that anyway. So I let him. Yeah, I just had to.
Yeah, I mean, he's like an elderly man. I was like, we're not going to let this guy like perish under a wardrobe.
No, but you do that for a kid falling off a tree, Matt.
Yeah.
Well, but he did use the powers to save a kid falling off a tree.
Yeah, no, but you were angry about that.
No, I just reminded him of the rules afterwards.
Reminded him of the rules.
Okay,
I was like, well done for saving a kid, but also don't do it again.
So my logic...
Don't save the kid again!
So my logic was just like, no, like, look, Daniel, here's how we solve problems without just using your powers all the time.
By letting Grandad perish.
No, he didn't perish. We just lifted the thing off him using our arms. And it was fine.
His leg foot.
Although it does hurt
his leg, yeah. Which
he had to lose his leg, Sean.
He hasn't lost it. It just
has
hurts.
Been amputated.
It's fine.
No, it came off that you missed because
like
you were outside.
Off.
The grandma is standing there with a saw.
Just like, it was like
it goes a Walking Dead. It's just crushed, doesn't it?
So what happens with Claire then if she sees Daniel using the power?
She puts it down as a miracle.
Yeah.
Gosh, she's an idiot, isn't she?
But she well, no, I mean she does. That said, I felt anyway. I don't know if you guys did as well. That to me it felt like a wink and not a nod, as if that she realised something has happened here.
Right.
She's not quite sure what's going on. She doesn't say, "This is an act of God."
But it's basically heavily implied.
It's a miracle, and she sees Daniel as, I guess, some sort of angel.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, and so she's not scared. She's not angry. She doesn't freak out.
I suppose, to be fair, she hardly gets any time to process it either, right? Because
exactly.
Totally, as soon as that's over, there is a knock on the door. It's the popo.
It's the sheriff.
Yeah. It is.
There's a snake in my boot.
And
it's the doctor for sure. we've got a few spare legs in the back.
A leg.
So who could have seen this coming? So the police are banging on the door saying, "We know the kids are there. They were seen at the market. We know they're staying here."
Exactly. Parading around town on the back of a pickup
sitting
truck.
on the back of a truck. Killing cougars, doing all sorts.
Yeah, telling everyone about their life story and us buying a little snowman for $5.
Stealing yo-yos.
Yes. Listen to Cassidy's song.
So basically, despite your recent falling out with Claire, she is just like, no, look, I'm so sorry. You need to get out of here now. Like, I will stall the police, but you need to go. So you grab all your shit, you run out the back, and then you're sort of sneaking away, and then so this bit is interesting. So there's the police have pulled up outside the house, and you sort of, as you're running away, you sort of turn around and you see one of the cars spots you and starts pulling out to come after you. I presume that happened for everyone, yeah?
Yeah.
So then you're like, right, fucking leg it. As you do, so based off what everyone's been saying, I think we all got the same ending here. But what happened for me was, so Chris ran out, saw the cops, and because he thinks he has superpowers, he stood in the middle of the road and tried to stop the police car. And
it's worse than that.
This broke my heart when this happened.
It's worse than that, because I saw him running out the house and I was like, okay, what's Chris doing? And then he stood in the road and I went, what is he doing? And then he put his hand up.
Oh, yeah.
And it was so gut-wrenching. The moment his hand went up, I literally just gasped and went, oh no, that.
It's like
before anything had happened, I was like, oh my God, it all clicked in my head where had been going wrong.
And it's just
it's horrible, isn't it? Because you're sitting there and you're just thinking, that's my fault, that is. And it's just
the fucking...
Well, this is it. And as I said earlier, it would have been so easy to look at that and go, it was as if the devs were going, you thought you were doing the right thing and you weren't. But really, because it was just on the right side of not feeling like that they were doing the old switcheroo. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And and it was like watching that scene in slow motion. Genuinely, when he put that hand up, it all clicked in my head. I regretted everything that I did up to that point, and I was totally fucking gutted.
I properly like gasped, like hand on mouth, dropped the controller, fucking
absolutely, yeah, same. Yeah, it was a killer.
So we all got that, yeah.
Yeah, we all got. Chris gets hit by the car, and although you don't actually know what's happened to him,
because it does sort of like the car sort of swerves and appears to more or less come to a stop, but like Chris is definitely knocked to the ground and ain't getting up.
He's definitely in trouble. But then he's definitely.
There's the other aspect of this, though, isn't there? Because then it's got this whole thing about whether Daniel does something to help him. Did you get that?
Well,
go on.
Yeah.
Because it's weird, because, I mean, overall, because it has the overall, like, whether you encouraged or repressed using his power. Yeah. So, obviously, mine was on overall, I repressed it.
Same.
Same.
And so, that resulted, I think, in probably, it says, like, Daniel didn't use his power to save Chris from the car. So, and is that just because we didn't let him just do whatever he wanted with it, like, the whole time?
Pretty much. I think it seems to be the gist, I mean, what fascinates me about this is that it appears that there is a way that the police don't even come after you.
Yeah, that's it, isn't it? Chris can help you escape. I'd love to know how you get to that point.
So it just says, like... so there's 43% the cop chased you and Chris was hit by a car, 36% the cop chased you and Chris wasn't hit, so presumably that's Daniel intervening. But then 21% the cop didn't chase you and Chris helps you escape.
So maybe that is maybe that relates to that scene that we weren't too happy with about picking the toys and gaining his trust.
You might be right.
And none of us gained his trust. So had you gained his trust, maybe he'd have seen you walk out of the house and sort of said, over here, come over here, there's cop cars out there, follow me type thing. That makes sense.
So, oh no, hang on, no, that doesn't mean anything. Sorry, I was just looking at the screenshot that's on the results screen. So there's the other one where it says so Daniel didn't use his power to save Chris from the car, 44%. Daniel used his power, and then Daniel didn't have to save Chris, 20%. Which is essentially the same thing again. I don't really know why they've listed that separately on the results screen, but whatever. Is that not the same as the other one we did? So the cop chased you and Chris was hit, the cop chased you and Chris wasn't hit, or the cop didn't chase you and Chris helped you escape?
Or Daniel didn't have to save Chris, which would mean that which would mean that Chris didn't run out in front of the car.
Yeah, he might have done something else to stop the car from...
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, but...
on that bit,
Or, as you say, the car didn't spot them, so Chris wasn't in peril and didn't need saving.
I guess that's the only way that can be the
thing.
That's the
third option.
I'd be really intrigued to see how you do that, which, as you say, probably relates to gaining Chris's trust and what have you.
Yeah, which is the same as none of us did.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, when I saw him put a hand out, I said, no, and then it happened in slow motion. And my notes were, that was my fault because I let him believe he had powers. Although, to be honest, Daniel could have used his powers then to stop the car, but I mean, he could have done.
Yeah, but again, you've told him not to.
Yeah, but he did it
several times. He did it
there's a
ship in
to save lives or us. So I think he would have understood if it's life or death, do it. But
he also did it on yours to fix that bottle, didn't he?
Yeah, but those are annoying. Aren't they? It's like, well, Grandad's never going to be able to do it. Let's quickly fix the ship.
You told him off for saving Chris.
I reminded him of the rules.
Hold on, you've explained it yourself. You said, here are the rules and don't do it again. Yep. Well, he didn't do it again. And now Chris is
the worst part. Daniel fucking looks at you, doesn't he?
It was so sad.
Almost as if he's waiting for the nod.
I mean, I didn't, but but this is what I was talking about. So I saw a lot of people complaining that not much happens in this episode, and they didn't really feel that it had any sort of an emotional moment that we're used to having in strange episodes.
Because this is the big thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But then they go on to say that Chris doesn't get hit by the car.
Yeah.
And then you kind of understand it, because you take that moment away from our playthrough, you've been through all of that, and then Daniel stops the car from hitting Chris, or Chris isn't in peril at all. It's kind of like it's missing that huge emotional moment from that episode.
So it says on our screens that he got hit by the car or whatever, but we don't know if he's dead or not, right?
No, we don't know.
And the likelihood is he probably isn't. Yeah. Because if he's
otherwise they would make it more explicit.
Well, it has to be.
And also, it seems like he's like an integral part to the whole thing anyway, because they had like Captain Spirit and all that kind of thing. But does that like cheapen this at all? The fact that he's not really dead?
No.
You don't think so?
I don't know at the moment, but given that he can be alive in one, it's pretty tough for him to be dead in the other. He'll probably just be like either fully fine or injured, and that's going to affect.
No, I mean, it doesn't matter. He even if he's injured, he has been injured because of your actions.
Yeah.
And again, that's going back to the overall theme of this whole series, by the looks of it. Whereas games, we've played millions of games like this before. You're making decisions, and sometimes they have an effect on people. Here, it's more like you're influencing people to make decisions. Yeah. And that can have an effect on the world around you. If that's essentially, you could argue that that's the same thing, and I understand that. But here, it feels like that focus of not direct actions on the world, but more second-hand actions on the world. There's like a third party involved, and that is really coming across, and it's really starting to make me rethink about the decisions that I'm making in this game. Like, in these games, it's usually a right choice and a wrong choice. You make the right choice and the right things happen. Here, it's more whatever you're doing is being watched by people, and that is affecting their behaviour. And who knows if that will be, the right decision or wrong decision, because you're not making it; they are. And I think that's really getting drummed home very well. It's they're nailing that feeling. And then suddenly, what would usually be a binary choice is becoming a real sort of, you're thinking about the bigger picture of your decision making rather than just honing into what would my character do. It's not what would my character do, it's how would the characters around me react to what I'm doing. And there's a big difference there when it comes to decision making. And that's why I'm so into this, because it's it feels so different when you're being asked to do something. You really have to, it's like you're playing chess, right? You're trying to think 3 moves ahead, 4 moves ahead. Whereas usually in these games, you're thinking in the moment, what is right, what is wrong. That's what this series is nailing. And Jesus, if they keep that up, this means that, as we've spoken about before, the anxiety around everything you're doing is so big, so ramped up in this, that it's really hooking me in.
It's really hard to second guess it, because in the first one, it's like, okay, if you do bad things, then so if you steal, then Chris will do that. On this one, you stick to the rules. And there's still, obviously, thinking gets hurt by the car at the end. So it doesn't matter whether we're doing good things or bad things.
That's it.
It's very hard to second judge.
So it takes away, it takes away that binary choice, because those decisions are out of your hands. You know what I mean? You may be thinking one thing, but that character isn't necessarily understanding what you're doing and the choices that you're making. They've got their own interpretation of what's going on. So, as I say, it's like that middleman now. That you've got your character, other characters, and the reaction, and that middleman is making those decisions. So it kind of, you're right. It's there's no clear theme of, hey, if you do the right thing, the right thing's happening. If you do the right thing, sometimes that has an impact on certain characters and the wrong outcome comes, like a less preferred outcome happens. And I think that has just really fucked with my head. And, it fucked with my head at the start of this episode. It's really going to fuck with my head at the start of the next one. Because, what happened in this episode is a direct result of what I was choosing throughout the game. And I thought I was doing the right thing, and it wasn't. It wasn't the right thing at all. And that is going to make me go into the next episode saying, right, what is the theme behind here? How is this going to pan out? I'm really going to feel.
I don't want to try and think about that. I don't want to be like, well, this is going to be a good thing or bad thing, because it's you can't second guess it, because it's going to flip it, I think, on you. I don't want to say, well, how's this really going to impact? I'm just going to go with how it's gone up to now. Yeah,
which is cool as well, which is fine as well. And as I said, I feel that getting the end result that we all did, obviously that's had a bigger emotional impact on us than whether Chris was fine. So as I say, the right choice is not necessarily the best choice in terms of narrative and your emotional reaction to the game. You know what I mean?
I mean, would you say, Dave? Then it was satisfying for you, then, wasn't it? This flip, like it was, because for me it was as well. I mean,
yes, it was. Yeah, it's satisfying in that I think
it made total logical sense. Like the way
it made total logical sense. It fell on the right side of manipulation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It didn't feel like it was trying to whip the rug from underneath your feet. And I felt that it gave me a feeling that you rarely get when playing video games. A real emotional reaction, a real, that sort of gut-wrenching feeling that you get from film all the time, but you very rarely get from video games. I mean, we've all had it where a character dies and you get sad or whatever, but this felt so much more impactful.
See,
it really worked.
Yeah, like this is a problem that video games have had for a while now, in that in gameplay terms, like a good game is one that teaches you a set of rules, and by carrying them out perfectly, you get a good result. Like that's it. Any deviation from that is like, well, fuck you, that's bad game design. You told me to do this and then I did it and then something bad happened. That's shit. Whereas in storytelling, you need like unexpected bad things to happen, even though a player thinks they've done everything right. And that's incredibly difficult to pull off. It's like, like in your Mass Effect games. So a good example is the standoff with Rex in Mass Effect. You guys all remember this? Have you all played it? I can't remember. Yeah. And it's like, so suddenly, this guy who's like one of your favourite crew members, you have a big disagreement with him and you basically pull your guns on each other and you have this like really intense like argument with him. And basically that just boils down to, have you put enough points into your Paragon or Renegade skill so that you get the best dialogue options and you can win? And it's like, but the people who didn't do that, and they're like, oh my god, that really like amazing but horrible bit where you have to kill Rex, like they get a better story out of it because they didn't actually do what they were supposed to. And so it's like, and this game plays on that really well.
I give that example a lot. It's like, you can get to the end of Mass Effect 2 and save all your crew members, but you won't have those emotional moments where you lose an incredible crew member. And it's important to have that in narrative. So, but the way they do it here, it doesn't feel like point building.
Yeah, absolutely. It's. I feel like
it feels so much.
Like I made the right decisions and still lost. But not. Not in a way that was like, ha ha, we got you. It was just like, no, that makes sense that happened. It's not like it didn't feel like bullshit, basically.
But do you know what I think? You said, okay, Dave, you said I'm gonna assess how it's going to impact the people around me. But whether you do good things or bad things, it's going to flip the script. And do you not think that by thinking, okay, well, if it could impact on anywhere good or bad, and I don't think anything you do, it's not really going to go in the way you do it. Right. So is that not going to make you feel like shortchanged by really saying, well, how does it impact someone? Well, it doesn't really matter because they're going to try and flip it for a better story.
No. That's what I'm saying. There's a line there, isn't there? And if I felt that it was doing that, I'd be pissed off.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It would feel like it's bullshit.
Yeah. Like, if I'm going to think,
but that's not what this episode does, in my opinion. It falls on the right side of it.
Yeah, but you said for next thing, I'm going to think about how my decisions impact other people.
Of course I am. Yeah, of course I am. I naturally want a happy ending. Right, but my point is that I didn't get it on this, but I appreciate how they got to that point and how I pushed the story to that point. I appreciate how that was done, and it was done really well. If it was just like hey, are you a good guy? Yeah, you're a good guy. Haha, not really. Like then I'd be pissed off with how the narrative had turned out. But that's not what happens in this episode. In fact, it's very clever the way it kind of made me think that it was all about keeping a secret, when really it was about, you've got to think about what you're saying to people because it affects their lives as well. Like that idea was there from the start, but I didn't pick up on it until Chris raised his hand to try and stop the car. That's what I'm saying.
Okay,
you know. So I although I wouldn't have wanted, and I would have worked towards like that not happening, Chris not getting hit by the car. That's what I would have wanted to work towards. I'm glad it worked out the way it did in terms of the narrative itself, because I think it's more impactful, and we had that amazing moment where it all clicked in that instance. And that is, I can't wrap my head around how hard that must have been to nail, but they nailed it.
It's partly because this kind of indicates that you're supposed to sort of broaden your thinking about who you're trying to protect, because all the decisions we've made through this have been because we're trying to help Daniel, like, the whole time.
Yeah.
But then in doing that, we've then caused pain to other people, which is the thing. And it's
absolutely,
that is interesting.
Yeah. And especially because in a lot of ways, this could be a superhero origin story or supervillain, who knows? And they are frequently marked by loss. So that sort of fits as well, and it's fucking interesting. Just quickly, so there are a couple more things on the results screen. So whether or not Daniel blames you for Chris's death, accident. On mine, he does blame me. 33%.
Yeah, he blamed me too.
Yeah, you also blame me.
9%,
justifiably.
9% he can blame himself. I don't really know how that would happen. And obviously 58% doesn't blame anyone because Chris is fine. So,
I'd love to know what has to happen for him to blame himself.
Yeah. Something relatively unlikely, clearly. But and then the final one is: did Daniel enjoy his presence or not? So, after you run away, you hike for a bit, and then you sort of come, you're resting, and Sean just says like, "Look, I know this isn't really the right time, but I feel like you need
here's a shitty yo-yo.
Here's a fucking wank bear sat on a fucking chair." Weirdly, he wasn't up for it in my game. I assume yours were all the same, since...
No, he was absolutely not.
Too upset to enjoy a little $5
total shit.
Yeah. So, that's that fucking hell. Oh, right, yeah, so credits, and then... Oh, sorry, no, then they jump on the train, don't they?
Yeah, on the train, there's a nice song, episode ends,
credits, and then did you see the after credits bit?
Yeah, there's a post-credit scene, yeah.
There is a post-credit scene, which...
I don't think I saw it.
I think I remember you mentioning it.
So you don't see anyone, but you hear it appears to be Cassidy talking, basically saying like, this is where we work, you can have a job here or whatever.
But basically you see like cannabis being grown, and a woman's voice says, "Let's show you around." And it sounded like Cassidy.
Looks like we're going to be working on a pot farm, boys. That's fine work for a 9-year-old. I'm sure you'll agree.
I don't remember this bit.
Do you know? It's possible you didn't see it, I guess.
Yeah,
it was like after the
credits.
credits. So that was interesting. So I'm gonna. I'm really looking forward to the next one. Shame it's not coming out for another 6 months.
Matt lighting a doobie and sticking it in Daniel's face.
Again, it's not life or death. I mean, it's like lying a doobie.
James sitting around stoned off his face saying, "Where are the cookies?
Where's my cookies? I've got
that's pretty much it. I assume at least James is keen to wrap this up because this has gone on way longer than we thought it would.
Well, I mean, we usually end the episode with saying what we think of the episode, but I feel that we've covered that in just talking about the ending.
That said, would you like some bonus content before we go? So I had a quick look at, when I was playing through Life is Strange 1, there was a YouTube channel called Geek Remix, and they did loads of really interesting videos about Life is Strange 1. So as a cheat, before we did this recording, I had a quick look to see if they'd done anything about Life is Strange 2. Not so much yet, but there is one really interesting video about Daniel being like clairvoyant or a psychic or something, and I was like, okay, whatever, let's have a look. He totally fucking is. So you know,
what do you mean?
So in Life is Strange 1, Max is always having dreams about the future, and they're sort of weird, sort of prophetic dreams. It looks like Daniel's having the same thing. When you're in the house at the start, so I didn't pick up on any of this, by the way. This is not me being clever. This is me just watching a YouTube video and regurgitating it. So when you're staying in the house at the start of the game, is like, Daniel's been like drawing stuff on the walls. So two of those drawings are near identical to drawings that Max and Chloe do on the walls of like places they've stayed and stuff. So there's the one that's like the Illuminati symbol with the triangle with the eye in it. There's like a sort of side-on drawing of like a person that's drawn in this really weird way, which is like, almost identical to several drawings you see in Life is Strange 1.
Okay.
The creepy doll. Did you guys see the creepy doll when you stay?
I think
so Daniel's little den in the house at the start, he's got his tent and he's got some so there's like a little like toy like baby doll, and he's like drawn on it and it looks really weird.
Yeah, I do remember that. So
that is Chris. It's Captain Spirit. Like, when you look at it again, it's got the red eye mask drawn on it, and he's got a mark on his face and a bruise on his arm where Chris has got those same injuries. But not only before you meet Chris, but before he even gets the injury on his face, because that's when his dad goes nuts at him.
Right.
So Daniel's obviously, like, foreseen that somehow. Also, when Daniel's playing with the train with Stephen, like just out of nowhere, at one point, Daniel just goes, "Oh, watch out for train hoppers." So there's all these suggestions that Daniel's actually like foreseeing all that, like probably in like really cryptic ways that he doesn't really understand, but he's like seeing this stuff in his dreams.
Yeah. I wonder what the deal is if you can link that to the dream that he had that sets, because I always thought that was a weird scene in the first episode where he was dreaming
and
in
the
tent
fire's going
and it was
nuts.
making the fire go crazy. Like, I wonder if you can link that to something that happens in episode 2.
Possibly. There's nothing to do with fire though, is there? I don't think. But
no, but not necessarily about fire, but maybe the beats of his anxiety throughout that dream can be linked to moments that happen. I don't know, it's weird. It's an interesting theory. I'm not convinced by it yet.
I mean, have a look at the drawings, man. They're the same.
I will do.
And as I say, it's definitely not just them reusing assets. It is.
What's that YouTube
Geek Remix
channel?
It's very good.
It's all right.
Okay.
Matt will put it in the show notes.
He will.
It's fine.
Yeah, he's always doing that.
I've really enjoyed this. It sucks that I'm not going to be on a podcast now. When's the next episode out?
Well, Wednesday, but this will be out tomorrow.
No. When's the next episode of Life is Strange out?
Oh, months off. Yeah.
It's next year.
Right, so May, which means May, June, July, August. So I won't be recording till August now, which is a shame. But
Sean's going to be on this week one, hopefully.
But no, it's been great catching, like just chatting about games with you and stuff again. I've really enjoyed this. And if you've stumbled across this podcast because you're a Life is Strange fan, we hope you've enjoyed it. I know we do it in our own little weird style, but we also do, these three do a weekly podcast about all video games. So definitely subscribe to this podcast, the Computer Game Show, for weekly content, and check out their Twitch streams on twitch.tv/The Computer Game Show. Is that right? That's the one. I will see you in a few months. And these guys will see you again next week. Thanks for living it. Fuck you. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.